Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Alex.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Doing fabulous, thank you.
I love the taste of Diet Mountain Dew in the
You
morning.
want to go
It's
first?
the breakfast of champions. It's the nectar of the gods.
Yeah.
And now I'm up to 11 cases.
That's a lot.
You owe me 11 cases.
I get
A lot
it
of
back.
cases.
Okay.
I like the confidence.
Well, we got the
you?
dude bet on what you call him. You saw what he went 90% from the free throw line last night.
He did. Is that all you got?
90% from
Well,
the
you
free
better
throw.
have more than that.
Well, he gonna shoot 80 for the whole year. We already got a dude bet on
We
that.
don't have.
Yes,
do
we. Yes.
Okay, 80?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God,
80.
What am I going to do with all this? Want some Diet Dew?
Yeah, you already got 11
get it back.
cases. It's a lot. Well, let's get right to it and start with LeBron. He made his highly anticipated debut for the Lakers last night in Portland and got off to a fast start. LeBron had two huge highlight dunks on back-to-back possessions to put the Lakers up early, but the Lakers were ice cold from three-point range, missing 23 of 30. LeBron finished with a team-high 26 points and 12 rebounds, but the Lakers lost 128 to 119. Overall, LeBron has now lost all four openers he has played for a new team. Here's what he said after the game.
I like our fight to get back into the game when we're down double digits. I like the way we competed at times. I like the way we shared the ball at times as well. And so those are all positive. It's still early. We literally less than a month in. So it's still early. We got to go through some things. You got to go through some adversity, see how guys react to it, see how what gets guys going. For me, it's an everyday thing. Leadership is not a sometime thing. It's an everyday thing all day. So, I do that every day.
Shannon, it's only the first game. Yeah. Were you encouraged or discouraged by what you saw last night?
I saw some encouraging things, but I was more discouraged than
Were
encouraged.
you really? Wow.
Yes, Skip, because my fears came more quick than I thought they would. I knew they would struggle shooting from outside, and that was my major concern. LeBron got him off to a great start, two tomahawk dunks, sandwiched in between one of Dame Lillard. The crowd was into it. At first, I couldn't tell if they were rooting for Portland or they were rooting for LeBron because it was an electric atmosphere, obviously.
There were some Laker fans present,
there
which
were
is
a lot of
shocking
Laker
at
fans.
that place.
And Skip, that's what I was afraid of, is that the outside shooting. And this is the reason why I don't think LeBron can average a triple-double, because over the last 5 years, no one has assisted on more three-point shots than LeBron James. And he just doesn't have those on this team.
That is a good point, because he had only 6 assists last night. And, again, if they would have cashed some of those cross-court passes.
In the first half, 1 for 21 outside the restricted area, 0 for 12 from 3. Inside the restricted area, they're 25 for 28. They started the game 0 for 15 from the three-point line. And that was the problem, Skip. And here's another thing. You and I discussed this yesterday about LeBron, Luke Walton wanting to manage LeBron's minutes. This is why he can't. Now, LeBron James checked out of the game in the first quarter at 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
I was shocked by that, but go ahead.
Because he normally plays the entire first quarter.
He does.
He checks out with 3 minutes and 20 seconds. They're up by 5. He checks back in at the start of the second quarter. They're down by 3. That's an 8-point swing. So now what you were thinking, like, you know what? Hey, we might be on to something. We might be able to let LeBron play 32 to 35 minutes. Next thing you know, he's 37 minutes. The outside shooting, I thought JaVale McGee was unbelievable. His energy is infectious. He's blocking shots on one end, running the floor, dunking the ball, getting lobs on the other end. LeBron was LeBron. I knew LeBron would have this. He's going to shoot 50% from the floor, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 5 or 6 assists. He put up a LeBron stat line. I didn't think he'd have a virtuoso, but this outside shooting concerns me, Skip. That's going to be a problem, because eventually teams are going to pack the lane and say, no, we're not going to let you in here. You're just going to have to shoot outside shots. And right now, Josh Hart had a nice game. I thought he played really, really well. I was really impressed with him. But the outside shooting concerns me, Skip. And that doesn't have anything to do with knowing where the guy's going to be or talking or communicating. They say in the NBA is a make or miss league. And last night they missed more shots than they made. And I don't know, are they going to shoot this bad all the time? No. But even that, they're going to be a bad three-point shooting team. And I don't know if you can win consistently in this league not shooting threes.
Okay. So, as usual, I got to get a new TV. I saw a different game last night. I was very encouraged by what I saw from your Los Angeles Lakers. Much more encouraged than discouraged. And I'm going to frame this by repeating what I told you maybe 3 straight days, the last 3 days on this show. Mm-hmm. The Portland Trail Blazers finished 3rd in the West last year. I saw not one prediction that even had them making the playoffs this year, which is mind-blowingly wrong to me. This team is going to make the playoffs. I told you that before. I picked them to be in the playoffs yesterday. And it is no shame to lose up there. They were 28-13 at home. It's hard to win there. So there's no shame in what happened last night because I thought it was pretty predictable that Portland would just win the basketball game. So now, what were the takeaways? Albeit that team is so stacked at guard. Those 2 guards are really hard to control. And when you throw Stauskas in there, they all 3 can shoot it, and they can shoot it on the move. That's hard to manage.
Yes.
Yet and still, all that said, the Lakers hung in that basketball game, as you well know, and Lonzo hit a 3 with 8:07 left, and it's a 1-point game at that point, and then Dame comes down and hits one from
right back.
Like Seattle, right?
Yep.
And then Stauskas hits another one, and all of a sudden they go on a run, and that was pretty much the basketball game. But, very quick aside here, I did have one negative. I did not like the way LeBron closed the game. And I was shocked by it because he went strangely quiet to me in the 4th quarter because I thought we would see takeover LeBron, takeover mode, attack mode in the 4th quarter. Instead, I saw LeBron that we see on social media with his criticism of his basketball team, passive-aggressive. We always see him on social media. Well, this time he was more passive playing basketball than aggressive because he had 3 terrible turnovers in the 4th quarter. And
that last one I just chalk up. Just that's a throwaway.
All right, but let's just look at these real quick because it was a throwaway to nobody. Okay, so just quickly, if we have the riff of the LeBron turnovers, the first one's just a bad idea. It's just a lob pass, and it's just defended. It's just not there. So that was called. That was early in the 4th quarter. Then we get this one, and if you can explain this one to me, this is a critical possession in this basketball game, and all of a sudden he goes to nobody. I don't know. What's that about? Again, maybe you're not on the same page, but who's over there?
I think he wanted Kuzma to stay at the top.
I don't know. Maybe. He wanted somebody to do something, and then I'll give you this, but I still thought it was like a long shot chance for everything to get back in this game at the very end of the game. And LeBron just throws it to nobody on the baseline. Like, talk about not on the same page. It's to nobody. I don't know. And that's 20 seconds left, and they're down whatever they were, 8 or whatever, so the game's probably over at that point. But I just didn't – I thought because he's the solo star, he doesn't have a second star. He obviously doesn't have a Kyrie or a Kevin Love or a Dwayne Wade or a Chris Bosh. I just thought in the 4th quarter he's clearly the best player, not only, as you say, on the planet, but he was the best player on that floor. I thought he would just take the game over because it was right there with 8 minutes left for his taking.
True.
Now, back to the positives. The biggest positive for me was the Lakers defended last night at a high level against 3 hard guards to guard. But I was highly impressed with the way they got after it on defense. And it started with JaVale, as you point out.
You thought they defended Stauskas? He's getting wide open looks.
Okay, but again, he had a career night. That's career.
Okay, but I'm saying, but they're wide open
saying
looks.
You don't game plan for it, and they clamped down on him in the second half. He didn't kill him in the second half the way he killed him.
Done, though.
Well, he hit 4 in the first half.
He kept him in the game.
Okay, he did keep him in the game because they were down 10 quick. It was 25-15, and he saved their day and their night. So the point is, JaVale was rim protecting like a demon. He blocked 3 shots. I bet he chained 6 or 8 other shots, and he intimidated Nurkic last night.
Yes.
Nurkic was second-guessing, double pumping, double clutching, and to me, KCP and Josh Hart, they'll get up in you. They got some toughness, and they had commitment, and I like the way LeBron sort of quarterbacked the defense. He was mic'd up. You don't have the sound up, but you could hear him calling out signals on defense. Switch it, just go under, go over. He was just running the defense as the quarterback. So I love that. That bodes well, and this bodes just as well. Do you realize the Lakers last night scored 70 points in the paint? Do you realize that was the most points, that was more than anybody scored all of the whole last basketball season in the paint. Nobody last year scored more than 70. New Orleans scored 70 on last year's, scored 68 on last year's Lakers, and that was the most the year, for the whole year in the paint. So how are they getting 70 in the paint? They are pushing it like crazy every chance. Now, they got off hotter in the first half than because Portland did a good job of trying to slow it down, stall it, because Portland plays the slowest in basketball.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip. You can get out and run if you grab the rebounds. What happened? They forgot what got them that lead early in the first quarter. They didn't rebound. Portland started getting on the offensive glass. But here's the thing, Skip. This isn't about communicating. Make the ball go into the basket is not about communicating, because the ball doesn't know what you're talking about. Can they put the ball in the basket from distance?
So again, no, they can't, but we already said that. They were the 29th team in three-point shooting.
But you encouraged by what you saw?
Heck yes, because they will push it like crazy. There'll be some teams that will try to run with them just because that's the nature of the opponent. It wasn't the nature of last night's opponent, especially up there. So if you get somebody who will run with you, they will run teams off the Staples Center floor, because LeBron James, with a head of steam in the open court, is the most lethal. He's the most lethal weapon in basketball, with a head of steam. And he's going to get a lot of open court looks where he can attack the basket, 2-on-1, 1-on-1, and you're going to see a whole bunch of tomahawk fast break dunks from LeBron James.
The thing is, it's going to be hard for them to run, because here's the thing, is that
it's not. No, it's not.
Because when you take JaVale out, Skip, that means you're going to play Kuzma at the 5.
It's okay. It's okay. You can beat teams that way. You can.
Not when they got a big like Nurkic that's manning the boards.
70 points in the paint. Nobody scored 70 all of last year. You got to get that through your head.
Okay, they scored 70 in the paint. Nobody scored that last year. And they lost by 9.
Okay, but what did they do? You're talking about 0 for 15 from 3. So what happened after 0 for 15? Help me out. Help me out. Do the math.
Oh, they went 0 for 15, and then
what happened?
7 for 15.
7 for 15. Is 7 for 15 good from 3?
Yeah, if that's all you took. But they took 33s.
Okay, I'm encouraged, because once they broke the ice, because it's just contagious. When nobody makes one, it's like nobody can make one. And all of a sudden, somebody who was it, Josh Hart stepped up and made one, and then Kuzma said, okay, maybe I can make one. Lonzo said, oh, maybe I can make one. They make 7 of 15. They got back in the basketball game with 8 minutes left. What's the score? They're down 1. It's time for the best player on the planet to say, I got this. Thank you guys for getting me to down 1 with 8 minutes left. It's my turn.
No,
it was not LeBron.
Don't start that.
Well,
don't start that.
I'm starting it, man, because 3 turnovers, that was a quiet fourth quarter from LeBron. You got to be better. If you're that guy, then you got to be that guy on opening night.
I thought the third quarter is where I was disappointed in LeBron, because he had 0 points, 2 turnovers, and he only took 1 field goal attempt, and he played a little over 7 minutes. That's where I thought he let the game get away from the Lakers then. But Skip, you're talking about 7 of 15. Okay, Josh Hart was 3 of 5. Kuzma, 1 of 7. Lance Stevenson, 0 of 3. LeBron was 0 of 4. This is not a 3-point shooting team. Okay.
7 of the last 15. That'll work.
Skip, you can't. Skip, this a game. You just can't take 7 of 15.
Help me out. Who's the best 3-point shooter on the roster? Help me out.
Probably Caldwell Pope or Josh Hart.
Nope. It's Mikhailuk. How many minutes did he play last night? No, he is. He's a dead-eye shooter. He shot 39%.
Why didn't he play? Huh? Why didn't he play?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm asking Luke Walton that question right here, right now.
You can only play so many guys.
He's 6 feet 8 inches tall. He shot 39% from 3 in the summer league. He is a fearless 3-point shooter. He shot 41% at Kansas. LeBron still can't get his name right because he called him Slava, but it's Svi. Maybe Svi will go off one night and run over to LeBron and say, "What's my name?" Because it's Svi.
Hold on.
Mikhailuk, he can shoot it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
You
got to find minutes for him.
He shot 41% at Kansas. I know a guy that shot 41% at UCLA that can't buy a 3-point bucket. College has nothing to do with the NBA.
Wait a second. The guy who kept them within a point last night. Wait a second. Lonzo Ball has completely changed his shot. Every shot he took last night was conventional right side of the face launch. It looked good.
It looked good. 7.
Yeah, but he made a big 3 and he made both his free throws.
Skip, stop! Don't do that, Skip.
No, I'm doing it.
You're going to take the guy made one. He was 1 of 4. So let me ask you
was that not a big shot in that game? Yes, it was.
Did it win the game?
Was that not maybe?
Did it win the game?
Was that the biggest three that any Laker made last night? I think it was.
Did it win the game? Did it tie the game?
Well,
so what are we talking about? You keep saying they scored 70. They were 7 of their last 15, but they started, Skip.
I'm just looking for positives on a tough night against a tough team. Opening night. Those are big encouragements.
That's the Lakers. We don't care about who we playing against. We got to play our game. See, you looking at the opponent. The opponent is inconsequential to me. The Lakers, in order for them to get to where they need to be.
You think Portland's a playoff team?
No.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
No.
I got them in the playoffs because they're good.
I'm not saying
they got they got depth on that team.
I don't care.
Did you see Zach Collins come in? He blocked 6 shots last night.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Zach Collins
he didn't block any threes.
Wow.
He didn't block any threes.
Wow.
What 3 did he block?
Well, they made 7 in the last 15. So
okay, what about the first 15?
I don't know.
You don't know? If they're 7 of 30, they made 7 in the last 15. What did they do on the first 15?
So the other guy who was really good for a while was Rajon Rondo. I thought
What you mean for a while?
Forward. Well, the fourth quarter again, he went quiet just like his man LeBron went quiet. 0 for 2. It's just a quiet fourth quarter, and Rondo had a bad turnover mid-fourth quarter to nobody. I don't know, it was somehow to Brandon Ingram, but he threw it out of bounds. So you can't have your 2 best players, your 2 most experienced players, commit 4 bad turnovers in the fourth quarter. But that's just a whole nother story. Man. Maybe they can fix that.
Boy, Skip, I love you. You'll find one.
No, I'm just giving you the truth. I'm giving you what I saw last night.
Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, Rajon Rondo had 13 points, 11 assists, and he was plus 7 in a little less than 32 minutes. Lonzo Ball played less than 20 minutes. He was 2 of 7, 7 points, and he was minus 15. But you want to talk about the 1 3 that he hit. He was minus 15. Rajon Rondo, 13, 11, plus 7. What are we doing here?
Well, LeBron was minus 4 last night, so I guess it wasn't all roses up there in the Rose Garden for him, was it?
26, 12, and 6. That's what he did. On what? On 9 of 16 shooting.
3 turnovers in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Yes. Yes.
So, in the big picture, I liked what they did. And I think they're going to be a little better than most people think they will be. But they're still going to have a hard time in the West because it's just too loaded. You're going to get that kind of effort from these kind of Western Conference opponents every night.
Well, you're going to get that because LeBron's on the team and the Lakers are coming to town. And
that is correct.
And every game is a big game because of who they're playing and who's on the team.
Yeah,
so they know they're going to get everybody's best shot.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but they're going to get Houston's best shot tomorrow night at Staples, opening night in Hollywood, because Houston got embarrassed at home in their home opener by New Orleans, and so that's going to be a tough game to win.
But still, for me, the reason they did some good things, Skip. I mean, getting to the basket, they were driving the ball early, they were getting the ball out the rim, they were pushing the pace. But in order for you to continuously push the pace, you must continuously do the defensive rebound. But what concerns me still, even if they're not shooting the 3, Skip, they couldn't hit anything outside the paint. They couldn't hit from 2. Anything outside of 10 feet was not going in.
For a while, and then it changed. You keep ignoring what I showed you. There's 7 of their last 15. That'll work.
Nah.
You can carry that over.
I tell you what, Skip, unless you go 15 for 15, it's not going to matter because you went 0 for 15.
Okay, so
you can't dig it, Skip.
Do you want to change your prediction?
No, I'm not changing my prediction.
Because you sound very negative today.
No, I'm just
very discouraged.
You asked me what I said. There were some encouraging things, but I'm more discouraged because
we knew about the 3-point shooting. I brought that up like day number 1 when they brought in the cast-offs. I said, and who can shoot?
I thought they were going to make a few shots, Skip. See, I look at it like this. If I'm 50 feet out and I'm drowning and you throw me a 45-foot life preserve, what good have you done me? What good is 7 for 15 when I'm 0 for 15 to start the game?
Okay, so of the players who actually played in the game last night, who do you trust the most from 3? I'll tell you who I do. Who's the best 3-point shooter of those who actually played?
I mean, when the rubber needs to meet the road, I'm going to go with 2-3.
Me too. It's LeBron James. And what was he last night? 0 for 4.
Yeah.
So does he deserve some of the blame for that?
Yeah,
or?
But you know what?
You said he played great.
I'm just going to make sure you hear this, because I'm going to bring this to your attention on Monday, because they're going to play Saturday night.
Yeah.
He was 0 for 4.
Okay.
Now, when he goes 5 for 7 against Houston,
right.
I want you to make sure you put that in your notes.
Okay, well, I just told you he's the best three-point shooter of those who played. He's definitely not better than Mikhailuk because he can just shoot the fire out of it. He's Stauskas. That's who he is.
There's a difference between shooting
Mm-hmm.
summer league threes and shooting NBA threes in a regular season
Just remember
game.
I said this. Mikhailuk is fearless. Just remember I said that. I always love his body language. At Kansas in those big games, any March Madness games, he wanted the basketball and he wanted to shoot it.
Well, I saw him in the summer league, him and Josh Hart. I think he had a 30-point night where he was just letting it rip. I mean, but it's hard. He's a guard, and that means you're going to have to sit down. Who are you going to sit down? Caldwell Pope?
Yes.
You're going to sit down?
Yes. And you're going to lose on the defensive end. That's what you're going to have to do. But that was the problem last night. They played Caldwell Pope, 27 minutes and 18 seconds, and what did he give you offensively? Not much.
But he's plus 8. But you say you love plus minus.
But he defends. That's what I told you. He can defend, so that's why I gave him props. He and Josh Hart really get up in you.
Yeah, Josh Hart was unbelievable on the offensive end also. Although he was negative, he did some good things. He's going to battle you.
Josh Hart's got guts.
But Stauskas, once he got it going, you could hear him mouthing. He can't check me. He can't see me. He can't mess with me. And that's it's a confidence thing in that league, Skip. The guy see the ball goes in a couple of times, and then he thinks he's Steph Curry. He's like, man, that dude can't see me. And he was feeling it, calling out Kuzma, Lance, who wants some of this? Who got next? Because I just gave it to him. I'm finna give it to you now. Look, at some point in time, Skip, look, I love what they're doing, but they got to get some shooting. Somebody got to put the ball in the basket from outside.
So how you're just going to go like this and snap your fingers and add what?
Hey, they might have to get closer.
There's a guy who was tweeting last night from home, a guy who was on our show
Swags.
just last week.
Swags.
P. Nick Young. He's just sitting out there. Former Laker.
Go get Corver.
Got a ring last year at Golden State.
Hold on.
He can shoot it.
Who can we trade for Corver?
You're going to trade for Kyle Korver? Oh. You'd probably trade half the roster for Kyle Korver. You think he's great.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip. I'm trying to look. We give y'all Ivan Zubic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they'll do that. 6th best three-point shooter ever. We'll do it for Zubic.
Why not?
Yeah.
He ain't playing. Y'all not playing the man. Let the man go where he gonna be used.
They'll take Kuzma back for him.
No, I bet they would.
I've already predicted this. Kuzma's going to be LeBron's scapegoat before this year is over because he comes in and just jacks it up.
He jacks it up.
He just like
he got
as
one
soon as
fewer
the ball
shot.
touches his hands, it's going up. You know it's going up.
Yeah.
1 for 7, and LeBron will quietly say to the media, "Well, Kyle's he's got to watch it a little bit."
Five. Well, he's been working with Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe a volume shooter. Kobe like get them shots up. You miss all the ones you don't take.
Yeah. Kobe Kuzma, is that what you're calling?
Yeah, exactly. These guys actually,
Yeah.
look, because you go work with Kobe, that doesn't mean you're going to be Kobe.
That
doesn't mean you're going to have his game.
Nope.
Kobe is a special, and I think these guys actually think that. Man, Kobe said, my footwork, if I do this right here, bruh, you never going to be Kobe. Do you understand what Kobe was?
Kobe told me to shoot it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, man, I'm going to shoot this rock. Okay.
Okay.
Well, as LeBron said last night, the Lakers have a lot of work to do, but they're only 1 game in. We are moving on to Skip's Cowboys.
Yep.
Yesterday, Jerry Jones defended his quarterback,
Yep.
but does he really believe it?
Yep.
We'll discuss that next.
I know Skip believes it.
No mercy.
The Cowboys are headed to Washington to face the division-leading Redskins on Sunday. Now, even though Dallas scored 40 points in last week's win, their offense has struggled for most of the season, with a lot of blame pointed at Dak Prescott. But Jerry Jones told USA Today that his QB is more than just a game manager. Jerry said about Dak, he's not a bus driver, he's a weapon. And as mobility diminishes on a given play, then you'll pick up where he is with that great decision making, with the mind he's got. I take offense with any serious projected criticism about his accuracy. He can get the ball within the circumference of where receivers can catch it. They need to help. So Shannon, do you think that Jerry actually believes this?
I believe Jerry does probably believe what he's saying, Skip. He bought in on Dak after his rookie season. There's a reason why, but it was reported that he really, really wanted to go back to Tony Romo. Tony Romo's box office
In his rookie year.
In his rookie season, he has no choice now, Skip. Tony Romo retired, and now here we are 2 years later. But myself and others and guys that have played the position have questioned Dak's accuracy. Now, I tend to side with myself in guys that played that position over Jerry Jones. Jerry is biased. What do I expect him to say? Yeah, Dak, his accuracy is really suffering. I like to see him be a little bit more accurate. Obviously, he's not going to say that, Skip. But I believe deep down inside, Jerry Jones wants a high-octane offense because the rules are made for the quarterback to put up mind-boggling numbers. And here we are playing like 1990s football. Jerry Jones did not build that stadium with a running game in mind. They don't have those, Skip. When they have concerts and boxing matches, what do they have there? They want Patriots. They want Kansas City. That's what he wants. You know that. I know that.
They just scored 40 at home. They did. Well, they did.
Oh, so that's
how did they do it? With mirrors, smoke and mirrors?
So
I don't know. Penn and Teller? Did they play?
Let me ask you a question. Where do you think the Cowboys are finished as far as scoring offense?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they just took off. Maybe that's what we're going to see. I just told you, detonation. Go ahead.
Jerry Jones loved the Tony Romo because Tony Romo was box office.
Yeah.
I believe Jerry would rather have that 51-48 performance and everybody talking about it as opposed to this.
That was against Peyton Manning.
Against Peyton Manning.
With the late interception. We don't
have to break up all of that.
I'm just saying, but he threw for, what was it,
507. Yeah, he had 5 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, he was slinging it.
Yeah. And then he slung it right to Trevathan at the end of the game, and Peyton got a walk-off chip shot field.
We don't need to rehash all of that.
Well, I'm just saying, but that's who Tony was. That was the quintessential Tony Romo.
And that's what Jerry Jones loved. He loves fireworks. He loves box office. This isn't box office. And here's the thing, Skip. That term bus driver or he's a game manager, Skip, if my kids get on the bus, all I ask the bus driver to do is get them to and from safely. Is that a bad thing? Because I can tell you, I know a guy who Skip said is the GOAT. How did he start his career, Skip? What was Tom Brady? A bus driver, a game manager.
Yeah, for a year he was. He wasn't the second year.
Second year they didn't make the playoffs because we went to
the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl year. The Carolina year, he was not a bus driver.
But he started. Skip, that was really his second year that he won the Super Bowl because he came in 2000. Let's not over, you make it seem like he was a rookie. He was not a rookie. And in his second year, he was a game manager. He was a bus driver, which is okay. More times than not, everybody's not going to get like Peyton Manning. You unwrap him, no assembly required, and you say, go play, son.
At the end of Tom Brady's first Super Bowl, was he a bus driver, game manager?
Skip, he threw for 141 yards.
At the end of the game,
he threw for 141 yards.
John Madden is in the TV booth saying they should shut it down and play for overtime, and they let the first-year starter throw it 5 straight times and set up a field goal.
And he had 50 yards on the final drive. So going into the final drive, he had 90 yards. Yeah. So what would you consider that? Is that the Tom Brady we know today?
I would consider that clutch winning.
No. He was a bus driver. You can't get out from under that, Skip. That's what he was.
Is he the greatest quarterback ever?
That's what Dak Prescott is currently.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. Tell me when you're finished.
I'm done.
Really?
Yeah, I made my point.
So this just drives me out of my mind because I do believe Jerry believes it because it's just the truth. And what did you say? You're going to count on yourself. I'm going to count on myself on this one because I didn't play the position. I just learned football from Bill Walsh and Tom Landry.
You say you love Troy Aikman.
Johnson.
Do you like Troy Aikman's commentary? Do you trust him?
I do trust him.
Okay, then.
And has Dak been inaccurate lately? And you always say you got to update your resume. Yes, he's had 3 inaccurate road games this year. He's had 3 really accurate home games, which is shocking to me. I'll get to that in a moment. But I'm going to say this again. Dak Prescott played the greatest rookie year season quarterback we've ever seen in the history of this league. And go find me one. Go find me a better one.
That's debatable.
Because he led in QBR. It's my favorite stat because it takes into account everything you do in the game, arm and legs, crucial downs, distance, what you convert, third down conversions, touchdowns in the red zone. He led in QBR all the way to the last mail-it-in game at Philadelphia when they had already clinched and he didn't play much and didn't play very well because they didn't care. So that's what he did his rookie year, and he capped it off with a home playoff game against you say the greatest quarterback ever, Aaron Rodgers. And in that game, Dak Prescott, the game manager, bus driver, threw for 302 yards and 3 touchdowns and brought them back in what looked like they were going to pull the game out until Mason Crossbar hit 2 cross-country, unfathomable, inexplicable field goals from 56 and 51. That's not a game.
What happened?
Bus drivers can't do that as rookies in a playoff game against Aaron Rodgers. He was in a shootout with Aaron Rodgers.
And he lost.
And he held his own. And by the way, He's gone up against Aaron Rodgers 3 times, and QBR tells me he's outplayed him every time. He's had better QBR every time. His average is 80 for the 3 times he's played Aaron Rodgers. He's lost 2 games, but again, he did his part to win all 3 games.
No, don't do this.
He had
so now
80,
we separate.
wait. He had an 80 QBR in those 3 games. Aaron Rodgers had a 62. He almost 20-pointed him in QBR. That's hard to do.
Skip,
that is not a bus driver.
Skip, I can't believe
I'm sorry, it's not a bus driver.
I can't believe you would do this, that you would separate Dak's performance from the team performance.
Well, I am, because we're just talking about bus driver versus playmaker. He is a playmaker. That's what he does.
He's a bus driving playmaker.
Okay, he's a bus driving playmaker. So last year, Kansas City was the 8th game of the year. Through the 8th game of the year, Dallas was 5-3.
Okay.
And guess what? Dak's QBR at that point was 75. That was 2nd in the National Football League. He plummeted all the way to 4th at the end of the year because starting in game number 9, Zeke was suspended. So they lost their running back for the next 6 games, and then they lost Sean Lee for 5 games, and he could not overcome that. And he did not play well down that stretch. He still finished 4th in QBR in the league, which is outrageously good considering you went 9-7. But the point is, there were 4 out of 5 games leading up to the Kansas City game. Look what he did. 3 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 3. That's 4 games of 3 touchdown passes. Is that a bus driver? I think not. And look at the QBRs in these games. The opening game against the Giants, 73, at Arizona, 87, against the Rams at home, 81, against Aaron Rodgers, 97, 49ers, 82, and then Alex Smith and the high-flying Kansas City Chiefs came to Dallas, and Dak had a 96 QBR. That's not bus driving.
If you don't mind me
That's
asking,
not game managing.
Okay.
That's spectacular quarterback playmaking.
You gave me some very good games. It was very interesting, and the QBR rate was over 85. But if you don't mind me asking, can you tell me what his QBR was in the Chargers game, the Broncos game, the Eagles games, and the Falcons game?
I just told you he was terrible. And he still finished 4th in the league. That's hard to do. There are a whole bunch of quarterbacks. There are like 40 who qualify.
I know a guy that finished 1st in the league.
And by the way, last year, if you do just quarterbacks who played 600 or more plays last year in QBR, 600 or more, and on a 9-7 team, he had the 2nd best QBR in all of football.
Behind who?
I think it was behind Brady, the MVP of the league, who you don't like either. So you have no respect for Dak Prescott or Tom Brady.
This has nothing to do with like or dislike.
You asked me, I told you.
This has to do with facts, Skip Bayless.
Okay, so
you and I both know. How can you be anything other? Before I'm gonna let you go, how can you be anything other than a bus driver when the rules are set for you to succeed throwing the football and you're averaging 180 yards passing?
How does a bus driver score 40 on the #1 defense in football coming into the game, Jacksonville? How do you score 40? How do you score 24 in the first half? Yeah. Playmaking. Make a play, convert, pass to Cole Beasley, read options. What did I tell you? What did I pound the table for Scott Linehan to do? Unleash the quarterback.
Nobody thought.
Set him in motion.
Nobody thought, after watching the Jags play over the last 2 weeks, that they had the best defense. Now, yes, they were #1 in total yards. Yes, but nobody thought that, Skip.
Okay.
We saw them.
What else did Dak Prescott achieve in his first 2 years as a starter? His team on the road went 12-4 in his first 2 years. That's the 2nd best road record in all of football to the New England Patriots. Is that good? Is that bus driving? No. Okay, well, just help me out, because something unfathomable.
That was his rookie season. Well, I can make the case.
I'm doing both the first 2 years.
Okay.
12-4 combined on the road.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger's record was equally as good, and he won a Super Bowl in his 2nd year. So what are we about to do about that?
Okay, well, I'm just saying you're dismissing him as a bus driver.
That's what he was. That's what Ben.
You can't bus drive to 12-4 on the road.
If you don't mind me asking, Ben Roethlisberger bus drove the 15-1.
Okay, but they were loaded on defense. They had the best defense in football.
But they ran the ball with
had
Willie
Bettis.
Parker. Thank you very much. They ran the football with Willie Parker and Jerome Bettis. Okay. And there you go, Skip. Thank you for saying
something
this.
Inexplicable has happened to Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They've been an abomination away from Dallas, and they've gone 3-0 at home for the first time in the history of Jerry World. They're 3-0 at home. Okay. I can't explain it. They can't explain it. So they said, as we heard yesterday, they had meetings all week. The offense met as a group just to talk about how can we communicate better on the road. And I just say, I loved what Jason Garrett said at halftime of the Jacksonville game. We played with, and this is the magic word, conviction. What have I told you? At home, they played with conviction. You're going to have to take that conviction to Washington, and you're going to have to play loose, play not to lose, they've been playing not to lose. You have to play to win the football game.
Right.
You have to unleash the quarterback. You have to roll him out. You have to bootleg him. You have to run quarterback draws, and you especially have to go for it on fourth down, but with read options. If they had run a read option on that one that they didn't go for at Houston, he would have gotten that.
But the defense is playing so well. Now, you just said you got a top 2 scoring defense.
Number
you got
2.
a top 5 total defense.
Yeah.
And why would you not punt the ball, pin them down inside the 10, and you're going to get the ball back? Now you're going to rely on your defense. That's the strong suit of your team. Just like in Dak's rookie year, the offense, they relied heavily on the offense. So now the strong suit is your defense. Why wouldn't you rely on them? Skip, you make it seem like that Dak is in his 10th year and we're saying he's a bus driver or a game manager. He's only in his 3rd year. Ben Roethlisberger was a bus driver for a number of years before he came what he's known as today. Tom Brady there are very few quarterbacks that start their career and you just throw them out there and says, okay. Even Peyton got thrown to the Wolves, but what did he have in his backfield, Skip? He still had Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
He still had Marvin Harrison as a wide receiver, but they threw him out there. So to ask Dak when he doesn't have a Marvin Harrison, now Zeke is a very, very good running back. Marshall could do it all. Marshall could run and catch the football. But to say Dak is as long as the kids get home safely. Isn't that what we want from our bus driver?
No, that's not.
As long as you get that, hey, let me ask you a question. If Dak throws for 140 and you win the Super Bowl, would you be upset?
See, Dak has ways, so he's going to take lots of shortcuts, and he's going to do it with his legs instead of his arm.
I'm just asking you a question.
That's how he drives his bus. He takes chances.
Skip, don't get me. All I'm saying is just get me, Skip, it's okay. Just get me home safely.
You're going to see a team play much looser. I want to see more of this Conor McGregor arm swing after the plays because they were having fun on Sunday.
I saw that walking in.
I saw Dak Prescott smiling a lot on Sunday. I need to see him smiling at Washington.
You know what I saw? I saw Conor McGregor walk in the ring with that swag. And then when it's time to come out the ring, I saw him sitting on his bum. I saw him sitting on his bum.
Yeah.
I didn't see no swag.
But
I saw Khabib on I'm the champ.
Well,
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
So where was Conor McGregor on Sunday? Did he go to the Patriots or the Steelers or the Rams? No, he didn't go to. He went to Dallas. He went to Jerry World. And so all of a sudden it's contagious, and everybody's doing it. Zeke's doing it. Maybe we don't need so much of this anymore. Maybe we need more of this.
And they was in the club talking about loser. Everybody was talking about Khabib. Because for the longest time, now all of a sudden, you don't want to talk about O'Connor. Why you want him to hang with the Cowboys? He done took that L.
I like it because it rubs off. It's contagious enthusiasm. It's fun. I want to see Zeke unleash this time. I want to see them get creative with Zeke. Get him, toss it to him, get him running right and left, and then cutting it upfield. I want to see more creativity because they can have fun with this offense.
It's okay. It's okay. Jerry believes it. I mean, I'm good.
Yeah. So I got them winning 20-13. I mean, 2017. 2017 at Washington. It'll be a defensive battle. Washington's really good on defense.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not that good. No. Check down Alex. You know what he does. He check it down. They'll need 3rd and 8, and he'll throw a swing pass for 2 yards, and they'll come up, make the tackle, and get off the field. You know what he does, Skip Bayless. That's why Andy Reid had no problem moving on down the road. There's no. Think about this, Skip. Why would you even take a quarterback if that's the guy? If Alex Smith is the guy, Andy Reid mortgaged his future to move up to get this kid. Where they do that at? Andy
Reid won a whole lot of games.
Yeah, so he knows something we don't, because he moved up to get Mahomes and let check down go. Why would he do that if he's the guy?
My rocket has launched.
Your rocket ain't doing nothing.
The Dak
you got it done.
is back.
It's about to
the Dak attack is back.
It's about to rain,
It is haunting you.
Let me ask you a question. Do they launch the space shuttle when it's raining? Or it's windy? It's got to be perfect conditions.
Okay.
Yeah. So you about to have T-minus up. That's a negative. We have no liftoff.
So are you picking Washington?
Don't worry about what I'm picking just yet. We gonna pick it later.
You're gonna pick later? All right.
No mercy.
LeBron's debut for the Lakers last night was spoiled by the Blazers. LeBron finished with a team-high 26 points and 12 rebounds, and he's getting used to a new group of teammates. He also made an interesting comparison when talking about the team's chemistry. Take a listen.
What do you
you think the chemistry is now? How long does it take to, you think, get in sync?
Not as fast as you guys think it's going to happen. It's not. I always kind of compare it, to like instant oatmeal. It's not that fast. It takes a while for the chemistry to get to where you can close your eyes and know exactly where your guys are. So that's what we're going to work towards too, both not only defensively but offensively. It's going to be an everyday process for our ball club.
Shannon, how long will it take for the Lakers to gel?
Good thing I got time because I happen to like instant oatmeal. I like that old maple brown sugar, that apple cinnamon. But I don't do that now. I
Don't put the sugar on it.
It's already in there. That's the instant. But what I do the Irish oatmeal. They bring me that Irish, that thing slow cooked. So it does take a long time because I get that
like steel cut.
Yeah, that steel cut Irish oatmeal take like 20 minutes. I let that thing boil the water, let that thing come to it. Nice. Here's the thing, Skip. If the Lakers had shot 40% from the three-point line as opposed to 23% from the three-point line, we would have a different discussion. Because, see, I don't think the issue is team chemistry. They were doing a very good job. You said they had LeBron mic'd up and they were communicating very well. The communication wasn't the issue. Putting the ball in the basket was the issue. That's the question. I'm not worried about it because I think the line of communication, you hear Rondo. Rondo does a lot of talking. LeBron does a lot of talking. Over, under, you got no help. Help front side, helps back side. They're going to do a great job of communicating, but at the end of the day, basketball is about one thing. Who puts the ball in the basket more than the other team does? Does my team, Team A, or Team B? That's how you win games, Skip. You can communicate all you want to. And I get it. Communication, you want to communicate whether you're playing football or basketball. Oh, they got great communication. All I need to know is you're going to throw me the ball and can we get the ball in the end zone? And in basketball, all I need to know is you're going to throw me the basketball and I'm going to put it in the hoop.
Okay. Can
they do that? So I think they can, if they can shoot, I'm saying they're going to shoot 50%, 60% Skip from the field every night. But you got to shoot better than what you shot last night outside of the restricted area. Because eventually, when a team sees that's the only way you're getting your points, like you said, 70 points in the paint was more than at any point in time all of last season.
But by anybody in the whole league.
So they watch tape, they study. Let's pack it in, boys. Let's see if they.
That's true.
Remember, because like you said, Greg Popovich defense against LeBron, back off him, make him shoot that shot. And when he hits about 7, 8, or 9, we're going to back off to make sure we're not overreacting to him making 9 of those in a row. So just back off one more time. And that's what you're going to see with the Lakers. So, Skip, I don't think the communication is the issue. I think putting the ball in the basket. But it's going to take a while because think about it. Basically, the starters are coming off the bench now. Lonzo, Kuzma, Josh Hart. Those are your bench players now. Those guys started last year.
They did. Now, I'm not sure they're going to be real happy going forward with this. I think you're going to start to hear some quiet complaints that will get louder and louder.
So basically, the only guys, I don't know if Caldwell Pope, I didn't really play, but Ingram. So now you got 3 new starters in the lineup, LeBron, Rondo, and JaVale McGee.
Yep.
Kyle Kuzma started. Josh Hart started. Lonzo Ball started. 3 of your starters from last year's team now comes off the bench. And you got 3. So it's going to take some communicating to get familiarity with each other or where he wants the ball or how he wants the ball or what he's going to do. I get all that. Put the ball in the communication is speed up once you get the ball in the bucket.
So before I give my answer to this question, I would like to read a quote from Kobe Bryant because I liked it and it had insight and power to it. It opened my eyes. If you could show this quote, please. Kobe Bryant says, the Lakers are going to surprise a lot of people. Rob Pelinka, the Lakers GM, has smartly built a team of physical players, big, versatile, fast, physical players. He understands that if you want to challenge Golden State, you can't challenge them shooting. That's what they do. You've got to beat them somewhere else. You have to beat them with size, chippiness, feistiness, strength, and speed. And he has a team that has that. He has a mixture of vets that are still in their primes and young kids that are hungry and open-minded and willing to learn. A team that can compete and challenge. That is a dangerous mix. I do agree with that, even though Rob Pelinka used to be Kobe's agent. But I won't. But I think he's being pretty objective.
Yes.
And he's obviously had conversations with Rob about this, and that was their MO. That was their goal.
Right.
Let's bring in a bunch of tough, physical players. And they have a good collection of those. And those kids play hard, too, because Josh Hart and KCP's not a kid, but they have an edge to them on defense. So I told you, I was pleasantly shocked by how hard they played as a group on defense, and it seemed to be contagious. And again, they still gave up, what was it, 128, so that's still not great, but they made Portland sweat and work for their 128. So what's going to happen is, I'm going to say it again, this is the most fun team to watch in the NBA because they're just going to go crazy pushing the basketball. Are they going to make some errors in the open court because they're going to try things they shouldn't? You got it. But again, I think they're going to have like nuclear capability, especially at Staples, to score a whole lot of. They could have some 150-point nights.
Okay, let me ask you this about what Kobe said about they have young players with open minds. How long are these minds going to be open when you get 19 minutes, when you continuously coming off the bench and you're not getting the amount of shots or the volume of shots that you think you should based on the hard work you put in this offseason?
I think he's talking about the defensive tone and toughness that they didn't have last year. They weren't a good defense. Lonzo played some defense last year, but his is finesse defense. It's hands, it's quickness, it's anticipation, it's steal the ball, it's block a shot from behind kind of defense.
Yes.
This was in your face last night.
But look, they don't have sit-down defenders like a Patrick Beverly.
No,
that's not what they do.
I'm talking about it as a group.
Oh yeah.
It's your mentality.
They're long. I mean, you look at Ingram, how long he is. Look at LeBron. Look at McGee. Rondo has long arms.
Did the Rockets intimidate Golden State last year for a while until CP3 went down?
They were pushing them. They were shoving them. They were elbowing them. They were in their face.
They were. So is that possible here? Yes, it is.
Yes.
So what's going to happen is what we saw last night was going to be a microcosm of the rest of this year in the West. You're going to play a lot of teams that are pretty to very good. They're all going to be just about like you are, which means you're going to play a whole lot of close games. So my question off last night and going forward is, who's the closer on the team?
You know who the closer is.
Well, it has to be. He didn't close last night with aggression. He didn't say, get out of my way. Again, he's trying to feel everybody out, figure it out, let the kids find their roles and their ways, you know, let them ease into this. But that was a game I thought he could have taken over.
At some point in time, he's going to have to step on some toes.
He is.
He's going to have to okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it.
Is there a kid who could become the closer? Is it Kyle Kuzma? He's the one with the most guts on the team as far as shooting, but it's just like he just shoots it every time, but he's not afraid to shoot it. And I think he can make big shots because he'll take big shots.
Yeah, he better. I mean, he can't keep going 1 for 7. Or they're going to you need to taper these 3-point.
Because Luke kept pushing all kinds of fourth quarter buttons. He tried Lonzo for 5 minutes. He tried Rondo for only 7 minutes. So again, he let Kuzma have a little run. He let everybody sort of have a shot at it.
But you know what
looking for the right combo.
You know what I like the most, Skip? Is that LeBron really didn't play on the ball at all last night.
He didn't bring it up. I know that.
It was Rondo. It was Ingram. It was Lance Stevenson. It was someone else other than LeBron, and I like that. It shows that now it's one game. It's one game in 82, so it shows that he has the trust. Interesting to see what's going to happen game 20, game 35, game 58. Then we'll see. But he showed me something last night that he's willing to, at least temporarily, trust these guys in the decisions that they can make moving forward. So we're going to see.
I still believe he'll be the MVP. I still believe he'll win the scoring title, even though that was kind of a soft start for him at 26. Like he's capable of going 35, 40.
But he only took 16 shots.
Okay, I got it. Maybe he was trying to ease into it.
But Skip, I mean, to win the scoring title with the amount of points that you say it's going to take, he's going to have to take 23, 24 shots a night.
Is he not by far the best player of this group?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, we've never seen him take that many shots. I mean, he is a very efficient. He doesn't take a whole bunch of shots. He's about 19 shots a game for his career.
What did he take in the fourth? I don't have it up here. I just think he took 5 shots in the fourth quarter. He needed to take 7 or 8 shots. He needed to say, I got this. You guys got me here. I'm going to take it over.
Or take 10, so gets to 21, he shoots his average. So, yeah, maybe that. But, I mean, he's going to have, I believe he'll have double figures as far as rebounds. So he could possibly
he's highly capable. And you said yesterday you weren't sure he could do that, but I think he can.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to.
Okay.
because they're gonna be a small team once they take JaVale McGee out of the game. Basically, it's him, Kuzma, and Ingram in the front court.
Well, Kuzma's playing the 5 a lot less.
Okay. Exactly. So and he have to spend all his time blocking out a big, and then the ball's going to be on the ground.
Yeah. All right.
And Bron to get some of them old rough rebounds. You know what I'm talking about, Skip? The ball hit the floor, and then you grab it. Yeah, what a
Well, those happen.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a few of those.
He gets like 6 a night.
Steven Adams, best left tackle in the NBA,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, because he be blocking everybody out. He should play basketball. Football. He'd be a great left tackle.
He would be, actually.
I don't know, Skip. 7 foot tall. I mean, that's
I don't know. I've seen some 6'8" left tackles that are pretty good.
Yeah, but
Jonathan Ogden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to agree with Kobe and say the Lakers are going to surprise a lot of people, but I may be a little biased.
You might be a little.
Just a little
I
biased.
mean, anytime they got old 23 on
Just
there,
a little.
ain't no surprise, Skip Bayless.
And anytime you're born and raised in L.A., you might be a little biased, but that's okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, nothing wrong with that. Well, is Tom Brady the best leader in the NFL? We'll discuss that next.
Here we go again.
No mercy.
The Patriots are taking their 3-game winning streak to Chicago on Sunday, but New England special teamer Matthew Slater told a story to ESPN about their win against the Chiefs last week. With about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs scored to go up 33-30. And a dejected Slater said Tom Brady went up to him and said, quote, "We're good." Slater then said, quote, "I guess we're good. There are guys that flinch and there are guys that don't flinch. He doesn't flinch." The Patriots went on to win 43-40. Skip, what did this tell you?
So, just to give a few more details, the kickoff coverage team had just allowed Kansas City to go 97 yards on the return to set up just a very easy, quick walk-in touchdown to make it 33-30 Chiefs with 8:38 left in the fourth quarter. So Brady seeks out the captain of the special teams, Matthew Slater, to fist bump him and just to say, "We're good." And it shook up Matthew Slater, according to him, to ESPN, because he wasn't ready for his quarterback to say, "I got this." Not yet, not under those circumstances. So when I heard this, I envisioned people across America, starting in your household up in Bel Air, but I envisioned people rolling their eyes and saying, "Gag me. Stop it with this Brady greatness stuff." I envisioned Shannon Sharpe reaching for his trash can to upchuck. Am I right?
Yep.
Isn't that your first reaction?
I went to the hardware store and got 15 spike nails and tried to swallow them all.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So it's somewhere that reaction between Brady hate and Brady burnout, because people are just sick and tired of hearing about Brady greatness. But what I thought about immediately was, what if I had read this story about Aaron Rodgers, that on Sunday night he had gone to somebody on defense and said, "We're good"? And what if he had then pulled off his legendary comeback against C.J. Beathard and the 29th ranked defense of the San Francisco 49ers? If that had happened, if that story had gotten told by somebody in Green Bay's locker room, that would be legendary headlines.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. It would be an explosive story that we'd be talking about all week, and many people would call for Aaron Rodgers to immediately be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that you reside in, and he would be the only active Hall of Famer. That's what would happen off that story. Am I right about that?
No.
Yes.
You're not right. You're not
what happened
right.
when we did our Twitter poll the other day? Who's better quarterback between Brady and Aaron Rodgers? And I said, it's just a popularity contest.
know.
I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose.
They know.
No, they're just sick and tired of Tom Brady. So the point is, he's become so monotonously great that on Monday you just said, you just shrugged and said, what else do you expect from Tom Brady? Well, think about what you're saying, that you expect every fourth quarter under fire, under duress against a Kansas City Chiefs team that is threatening to go 6-0, and you're in danger of falling to 3-3. They're going to run away with the AFC, and you're engaged in a shootout with the hottest young quarterback in pro football, and you can't afford to make the simplest, silliest little mistake, or you're going to lose the football game. And again, Kansas City is terrible on defense, but so is New England.
Oh,
yeah, but so is New England.
But Tom Brady wasn't going against New England's
defense.
Tom Brady
New
was
England's
going against
defense had already given up 31 points in the second half. 31 in the second half?
Well, how many had the defense given up? The Patriots, how many Kansas City's defense had given up?
Well, again, at that point it's 33-30, but Tom Brady knows that over the last 8 minutes, he's going to have to score 3 more times, and he did. He takes it right down the field, 7 plays, 75 yards, and then he runs it in the last 4 yards, and that's the go-ahead 37-30 touchdown. And then he needs 2 more field goal drives to win the football game 43-40. That's legendary. That's what that is. Yeah.
I make nothing of this because I played with John Elway, and he would say this to us all the time: "Boys, we good." I'm sure. I'm gonna tell you, Skip Bayless. Absolutely fact. In 2000, we were the first team to beat the Tennessee Titans. It used to be called Adelphi Coliseum. Now, we're the first team to beat them in that building. We had been leading the entire game. When they come back, make a game of it, they're down 3. Trent Dilfer was going down the field. Trent throws a pick 6. He walks off the field, he walks to the defense and says, "Guys, I let you down, but I'm finna get it back right here." We go down the field, score a touchdown, come back 4 weeks later, beat him in the division. Now, Trent Dilfer is not Tom Brady. He told the defense, "Guys, I let you down. I put us here. I'm gonna bring us back."
So you're saying John Elway's better than Tom Brady? No.
All I'm saying is that when you are a leader, just think about when you're on a flight. Alex, you fly all the time. I fly. Skip, you fly. Just think when the pilot hits a patch of turbulence. He's, "Oh, my God, we're going to crash." They come on the intercom, and their voice is soothing. This is your pilot, Shannon Sharpe, speaking here. We just hit a rough patch of air. Everything's fine. We're going to level out. We're going to probably climb a little higher, go a little lower, but everything's fine. That's what they do. They offer calm. They offer a comfort. Skip, baby, what's he supposed? Oh, my God. Matthew, I can't believe you let the guy go 97 yards down to the 3. What are you talking about? Come on, Skip, for real. Is that where we are now?
What did we see LeBron James do after the blunder by J.R. Smith going into overtime game 1 at Oracle?
The same thing we saw from the Spurs.
He went, "Oh, my God, we crashed." That's what he did. That's what he said. We crashed.
The same thing.
We're all dead. It's over.
The same thing the Spurs did. The same thing the Spurs did in Game 6 when Ray Allen hit that shot. You remember? Oh, they were down. Oh, exactly. Please. Skip, come on now. Look, Tom Brady is great. No one is trying to deny Tom Brady his greatness or his rightful place among the greats.
Legendary.
But to think that he's the only guy that says something comforting, that says something reassuring when it seems like it's about to be chaotic would be disingenuous, would be not true. In other words, that's a lie.
He has done it in the clutch on the biggest stages in sports more than anybody in the history of sports has ever done it. 2 game-winning field goal drives in his first 2 Super Bowls. What looked like a game-winning touchdown drive in the first 3 live Super Bowls. Why are you giving him credit?
Well, so Vinatieri saved Tom Brady's bacon.
Okay, but he had to set up both those field goals by completing 5 and 6 passes and drives to set up the field goal.
Okay, but...
And then he played the 2 greatest fourth quarters in the history of the Super Bowl against Seattle and against Atlanta, including overtime. And then last year, he throws for a playoff record, 505 in the Super Bowl. It's just clutch on clutch on clutch until it's all-time great. I told you, it's beyond Michael Jordan because Michael didn't have this many opportunities to be clutch.
No.
He keeps getting thrown into cliffhanger games in which he has to pull it out.
But here's the thing. The difference is between the finality, because if you lose one game in the playoffs in NFL, you're going home. And unless you're down 3-1 or it's a game 7, you can lose a game 1 in the playoffs and you continue to play. But Skip, you need to stop this. But I tell you what you didn't do. You didn't read the rest of Matthew Slater's statement where he says Coach Belichick prepares them for every situation, and he says, "Are we doing this again? Why must we go over this again?" And guess what happens? It occurs in the game. It's almost like Coach Belichick has a crystal ball, which is why I give him 75% of the credit.
75%. It's a quarterback's game, but you're giving the coach 75%.
Because here's the thing. They try to prepare you for it. There's a reason why that you practice 2-minute situations in practice. There's a reason why you practice the Hail Mary. Because if you get in a game situation, we need you to know how to line up, where to line up, and what we're going to do. So Tom Brady is put through those situations continuously.
So why doesn't Bill Belichick, who mostly coaches the defense, put his defense through situations so that they're better than getting torched by Nick Foles, torched at Jacksonville by Blake Bortles, torched at Detroit by Matthew Stafford, and torched Sunday in the second half for 31 points? Are they practicing? Maybe they don't practice defense. I don't know. Maybe they don't prepare on defense anymore.
On a 3rd and 10 situation, okay, you know 3rd and 10, but you don't know the formations. See, when you're in a situation like that, in offense, you're going to run what you're going to run. They don't dictate your formation when they come out of the defense. I'm coming out in 3 wides, or I'm coming out by 2 by 2. I don't care what the defense come out in. So in a defense situation, it's a little different, Skip Bayless. You see what I'm saying?
How many plays does Bill Belichick call in a game? 0.
Skip, see, why you got to minimize the man? I'm giving Tom his credit. I just don't want you to think that Tom Brady is the only guy that's offered reassurance to his team or teammates.
I don't think it was reassurance. He was predicting, I'm going to go win this game.
You know what I did? Oh, what? It just popped up on me. The New England Patriots did not punt Sunday night. So there was a great chance. They didn't punt all night. So he was really up against it. He was really up against it. The 32nd ranked defense in total D. The 31st pass defense. Oh, that's what Tom Brady went and got the field goal against?
He was flawless. You can't make one little mistake or that kid's going to throw it to Tyreek and you're going to lose.
Yeah, the defense.
Did you see what was happening to the defense?
I'm talking about the defense. I'm talking about Kansas City's defense. As bad as you say New England's defense, the Kansas City Chiefs
I'm not
are worse.
sure. They're right in the same
No, right.
Yeah,
no. There's levels to this.
And by the way, they give up a lot of yards, Kansas City's, but they've been classic bend but don't break, because in the red zone they've been pretty good until they faced Tom Brady. And then finally he said, I'll run it in.
No, they gave up their 19th in points allowed.
That's
their 32nd.
pretty good, actually.
Really? That's good. That's below
better
average.
than last.
They're 32nd in total D. They're 31st in pass D. That's where they are, Skip. So, in other words, they're bottom feeders.
When did John Elway in a Super Bowl have to come up clutch? When did he have to come up clutch?
Know why they get
the first 3 Super Bowls he played in, what happened?
Because they said
blown out.
They were, but they said no other person could have got these teams to Super Bowls other than 7.
Oh, okay.
Other than 7.
Right. Well, again, did he have to come up clutch at the end of your Green Bay Super Bowl?
No. Hey, did you watch him in Cleveland? When he had to go 98 yards and get a touchdown with a minute and 36 to go?
I've seen.
Is that clutch on the road?
I've seen Brady do it in 6 Super Bowls.
Six. When he goes
6 Super Bowls.
When he goes 90.
That was just a playoff game.
When he goes, just a AFC Championship game. To go to the Super Bowl. Come on, Skip Bayless. Don't try to deny my guy. My guy was this.
Don't get me started on Brady in AFC games, because against Jacksonville last year, 138 yards in the fourth quarter was 12 stitches in the palm of his throwing hand.
No, we don't do that.
That's pretty
Skip.
good. Oh,
we don't do that. You said we weren't bringing up injuries anymore.
No.
That's what you said. You said if you said Hall of Famer, you are in the Hall of Fame, right? They didn't revoke you. I said, no, they didn't revoke you, Skip. I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
okay, Aaron Rodgers.
You're right. As Belichick said, it wasn't exactly open heart surgery.
No,
right?
but you told me Aaron Rodgers, he's not hurt. He just ran 4.3.
Well, he did.
Okay, well, don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
All right, guys, we're moving on. Is it already time to worry about the Lakers? We'll discuss that with Steven Jackson next.
No mercy.
Now, LeBron made his debut for the Lakers last night in Portland and got off to a fast start. He had 2 huge highlight dunks on back-to-back possessions to put the Lakers up early, but they were ice cold from three-point range, missing 23 of 30. LeBron finished with a team-high 26 points and 12 rebounds, but the Lakers lost 128 to 119. Overall, LeBron has lost all 4 openers he's played for a new team. Now we are joined by FS1 NBA analyst Steven Jackson. Steven, were you encouraged by what you saw from the Lakers last night?
Well, it was basically what I expected. LeBron is going to be dominant. It's going to be a while before we find out who's going to be his Batman. And that's just what it is.
Does he have a Batman?
I don't know. But, I'm going to say this. I'm available because I see nobody can't throw a tic-tac in the ocean.
Yeah.
So I'm available, but they got to have somebody that can knock down shots. It's the only thing that's going to take pressure off LeBron. And their best player last night, second best player, was JaVale McGee to me.
Yes.
He played solid, defensively and offensively. And if he's your second best player, you're not going to win too many games.
Oh, Skip, who said that? I could have swore I said that. Because the concern is, look, LeBron is LeBron. He's going to be great. Eastern Conference, Western Conference, put him on Mars, put him on Pluto. It does not matter, Skip Bayless. He's the best. He will always be the best until otherwise noted. Back to the original problem that I thought that, and I knew like when they were putting this team together, I'm like, okay, Rondo, he can handle the ball, can get you some quality points, JaVale and Lance, all that. Who gonna shoot the ball?
Yep.
At some point in time, LeBron at his absolute best is getting downhill, kicking the shooters. Okay, he got downhill some last night.
Or cutters. You can kick it to cutters, too.
Yep, but that's in the lane.
Okay.
They're about to bottle that up. They're not going to let you get 70 points a night in the paint, Skip. You have to knock down some shots. What makes Golden State so effective is that they leave you scrambling. Yeah, okay, they got guys that can get to the basket, but you close that basket off, guess what they can do? Clay can knock down a shot. Draymond can knock down a shot. We know what Steph can do. That's what you got to have, Skip, and I don't know. I don't worry about the communication. I don't worry about the continuity. I don't worry about any of that. I worry about them putting the ball in the basket on a consistent basis. In order for them to be who they want to be in the regular season and go far in the playoffs, they must find someone that can hit some open shots. And last night, they couldn't buy a basket.
Well, after their first 15, they went 7 for their last 15. That'll work. 7 of 15, right? I thought Josh Hart hit some big shots. Lonzo hit a big open shot with 8 minutes to go that made it a 1-point game. Well, okay, but that was a big shot.
Stacks just told you the man ain't played in 5-6 years. Stacks said he can get out there right now and go 1 for 7.
All right, fine. And Nick Young would be right there with him because he's sitting home tweeting about.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm here.
Right? Ex-Laker. So before I launch into this, I'm going to say one more time what I've said for the last 3 days on this show. Portland is no joke, and I could not understand how a team that finished 3rd last year in the Western Conference could be picked by everybody to miss this year's playoffs, because I never saw one expert pick them to make the playoffs this year. I picked them in the 8th seed, and after last night, I could see them being the 5, 4, 6, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, because the guards just know how to play, and they play off each other, and they can shoot the lights out, and they have depth. And Zach Collins, again, this is his 2nd year in the league. He blocked 6 shots quietly for them.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so they're a pretty good Western Conference team, and it's no shame to go up there and lose in their building because it's hard to win. You played a bunch of games up there. It's hard to win up there. And if Lonzo's going to hit one open 3, and he looked pretty good doing it, he stroked it. He stepped right into it, and he shot it conventionally from the right side of his face, and it ripped. And all of a sudden, in Rip City, you're down 1 with 8 minutes to go. Okay, there's no shame in that. You hung in with them, and my positive takeaways, I thought their defensive mentality was sensational last night. And it started with JaVale because he was intimidating Nurkic. Nurkic was double clutching, double pumped, looking for JaVale over his shoulder.
He only played 17 minutes, Skip.
Well, he got in foul trouble. Yeah. But he also got just discombobulated by JaVale. JaVale just outplayed him.
And LeBron was laying it up on him. He tried to block LeBron shot. LeBron was going all right.
That's what's going to be good when you play LeBron.
But JaVale was setting a tone in the lane where they were all looking sideways. He changed or bothered, I don't know, 4 or 5 other shots. I didn't see that coming. And it trickled down. Everybody had sort of a defensive, tough mindset where I saw Josh Hart and KCP getting up into people because they will. They can. They're capable of it. We just read the Kobe quote where you got a bunch of physical athletes, and if they get a defensive mentality going, they can compete with you. They can hang with anybody that way, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay? So then I pointed out to Shannon, they scored 70 points in the paint last night. That would have been the best in the league last year. Nobody in the whole league season last year, not one team ever had a night where they scored 70 or up to 70 points in the paint. The most last year, New Orleans scored 68 in the paint on the Lakers in March. Okay, that was the old Lakers.
Right.
Well, 70 in the paint, and it's because they push it like crazy, and they're going to get some open baskets on the run. You would love this, man. You would just and again, what scarier sight is there in all of basketball than LeBron with a full head of steam in the open floor 2-on-1?
Nothing.
You're going to see tomahawks, man.
He was looking to attack early.
Well, he was.
In the open court, he didn't care if there were 2 people back. He's like, I'm going to the bucket.
And remember, you're doing it against the team that plays the slowest pace in the league. Portland just walks it up every time and lets one of the guards kind of go solo, right?
Them in Utah.
Okay? But they're slow. They're slow, and so it's hard to get them out running.
And they did a good job. And I think early on, Skip, they did a good job of pushing the pace. And then again, this is why LeBron can't play low minutes. Is because the moment he went to the bench, a 5-point lead went to a 3-point deficit. And that's what you're going to have. That's what you're going to have. This is a young team, with the exception of LeBron, and he's going to have to play because he's never going to be able to have a quiet night where, you know what, LeBron's out, not going to play the fourth quarter. All their games are going to be close. So he's going to have to, like you said, you'll need him to finish. He's going to probably have to finish on the court.
And last night he was passive aggressive. He didn't go full on takeover down the stretch from 8 minutes home. And again, I'm going to point this up. In his first game with the Miami Heat, the opener with the Heat, his debut game, he had 8 turnovers in that game. Then when he went back to Cleveland, first game, he had 8 turnovers in that game. He had 6 last night, including 3 ugly ones in the fourth quarter. Why is that? Because it's all new, and it's hard to play with him because he's going to try some things that you better be ready for.
Right.
So they just weren't on the same page. And I'm pretty sure the early Heat in game number 1, they're like, huh? Like, you better be ready, and you better be on his wavelength because he's going to see it before it happens.
Yeah.
And so he throws 2 passes last night to nobody. Like, he just throws it out of bounds behind his back. And I'm saying, what was that? It reminded me of the Steph pass in Game 7 when they lost. He just threw it behind his back into the stands. Like, who are you throwing it to? Well, last night, they were not on LeBron's page. And slowly but surely, as you play your way into this, get them halfway through the season, the kids will start saying, oh, I better keep my head up here. I gotta see it when he sees it, right?
I kind of expected that because we all know LeBron's IQ is in another planet than the guy. Him and Rondo IQ is on another level. And I knew he was going to make a lot of turnovers because he's trying to get these guys confidence, trying to get them on his level, trying to get these guys going. So it's going to be a couple more games of that. But how long is it going to take them to pick it up? How long is it's going to take them to get on LeBron's level? Right. And that's because you don't want LeBron to start getting frustrated. You know,
everybody's going to get frustrated because they have way too many bodies for 5 slots.
Right.
So somebody's going to be unhappy here pretty soon because Luke's going to slowly find these 5 work in the fourth quarter.
Well,
right?
That's the thing. The problem is that Kuzma, Hart, and Lonzo, they were starters last year. Now they're coming off the bench. It's one thing, Skip, and even if they get, they're getting minutes, it's just something about being a starter. When you go out there with that starting lineup, hey, man, but you played a lot of minutes. That ain't the same, because I didn't. Exactly.
Okay, Lance only played 17 last night, and Beasley played only 2 minutes last night. Trust me, if that continues, those two won't be real happy. And LeBron loves Michael Beasley. He loves him.
They need more system guys.
Okay.
They got a lot of young guys that want to be one-on-one players, that want to be scorers. They need system guys. They need guys that's comfortable playing off LeBron, comfortable with Rondo getting the ball every time. Because I seen last night, a lot of guys kind of like made faces when Rondo sitting there asking for the ball for rebound.
Yeah.
They feel like, well, I can bring it up.
That is true.
Let Rondo get it, bro.
Right.
This is what he does, and until they understand that, they're gonna struggle all year.
Here's the thing.
Those kids are going to wind up on the bench.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Let Rondo do his job.
Stacks, you make a very interesting point because, see, all these guys, they go to work with Kobe. Kobe was the system. Kobe was a one-on-one guy. But when you play with LeBron, you have to play within a system because he's the guy. All that one-on-one and that whoop-de-doo. I don't believe Kobe and LeBron could have played together. That ain't happening.
Nah.
The worst fit for LeBron is Kuzma. It just is. Because Kuzma is his own man. He's just going to see ball, shoot ball, right?
I've been working on my footwork. Kobe saying, turn on my right shoulder and do it.
Lakers got a lot of work to do, but we're only 1 game in.
We just
1 game in.
They just holding the fort down.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Now, is Dak Prescott more than a game manager? We'll discuss that with Eric Peterson next.
No mercy.
Now, the Cowboys are headed to Washington to face the division-leading Redskins on Sunday. Now, even though Dallas scored 40 points in last week's win, their offense has struggled for most of the season, with a lot of blame pointed at Dak Prescott. But Jerry Jones told USA Today that his QB is more than just a game manager. Jerry said about Dak, quote, "He's not a bus driver, he's a weapon. And as mobility diminishes on a given play, then you'll pick up where he is with that great decision making. With the mind he's got, I take offense with any serious projected criticism about his accuracy. He can get the ball within the circumference of where receivers can catch it. They need to help." Now, we are joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Eric, do you believe that Dak is just a bus driver?
Absolutely not. Let's first of all, let's start with this. He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys. Everyone, if you play for the Cowboys, expect you to be great. I'll give you an example. If you're an 11-year-old kid, 11-year-old child, you're 6'1", but you're 11 years old. You have he's 6'1".
Yeah.
But he's what they expect because you're so tall. They have these expectations. It's the same thing with being a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. People expect him to be all this, all that. You know, but I look at the Dallas Cowboys. They have really no receivers. They got Allen Hurns, Michael Gallup, Tavon Austin. I mean,
Tavon's gone now. He's gone.
Okay.
He's on. It sounds like they're going to put him on IR.
When I look at that, it almost reminds me of the 2016 Rams. The defense is playing good, but the offense is playing horrible. And I really believe that a lot of, no one wants to say Jason Garrett, but I look at Jason Garrett and I look at the offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan. You have to look at that. If you would put Jared Goff and Carson Wentz in that same situation, they're 3-year quarterbacks. This is their third year. They came out about the same time. Mm-hmm. How do you think they would fare? I'm going to ask you, how do you think they would fare? In the same suit with the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I saw Carson his rookie year. He struggled.
But in this situation.
Yeah, but I'm saying where he didn't have receivers and he didn't have a Zeke, he didn't have the offensive line like they have now. As a quarterback in a league that's built for you to succeed throwing the football, you need weapons.
Exactly.
And that's Jerry's fault that he hasn't given them a weapons. He took Dez away. He said, I believe we're better without Dez. But you got to replace him with something. Allen Hurns wasn't the answer.
No.
And I can say the number one guy is Cole Beasley. I mean, I like Cole. Cole's an SMU guy, but he's not a number one. He's not a number one receiver. I mean, he's just not.
He's 5'8", 175.
If
that.
Yes.
When you look at even losing Jason Witten, you might think you could outrun Jason, but you really can't. But losing Jason Witten, that was big, and it's showing.
He was the chain mover.
He's the guy that could move the chains. The offensive line is not that same Dallas Cowboy offensive line that we've seen. They've been injured. They've been trades. So it's not that same team. So you can't put all the blame on Dak. I tell you this, if you would put Dak in the open market, I guarantee you, he would get one of those big contracts. Mm-hmm. Look at Kirk Cousins. I mean,
he ain't first cousin now. First cousin.
he would get a big contract. He really would. Yeah. So is he a bus driver now?
Every time Dak and Kirk squared off.
He had the better team.
Dak beat him all 4 times. Team. Dak was 4-0. 4-0. And on Kirk's best night, on Thanksgiving night, Dak's rookie year, it's his first year playing quarterback in Dallas, Texas. What happened in that game? Remember that game?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins threw a big party. What did he throw for? Like
452.
452. I think it was even more than that, wasn't it?
No, 452.
And Dak goes 4 for 4 in the red zone because he's not a bus driver. He is a playmaker, and he will make them with his legs as well as his arm. That's why my favorite quarterback stat is QBR, and it always says Dak is really good, and he was great his rookie year because he was first all year in QBR till the last game, and he dropped to third because they had already clinched. And then last year, through 8 games, through the Kansas City game at home, Dak Prescott had the second best QBR in pro football. That's a big body of work. Through that game, they were 5-3, and he had so far in his career 9 3-touchdown games. You can't game manage and throw 3 touchdown passes 9 times in games. You can't do it against Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game as a rookie, throw for 302 and 3 touchdowns. Okay, he lost to two.
Gotta beat him.
Okay, he lost to a 56-yard and a 51-yard field goal.
No, he lost to the Green Bay Packers, led by Aaron Rodgers.
That's what he did.
So now
he played a great game, but he played a great game. He played a great football game.
He played a great football game. You can't game manage and throw for 302. You just can't.
No, we don't chronicle that. No, we don't. We chronicle wins and losses. Did your team win or did they lose?
Okay, so after game number 8 last year, Zeke finally got suspended. After that hung over them like a dark cloud the whole year.
That's your time to show you're not a game manager.
Oh,
okay,
really?
now what do you do?
Okay, and Dez Bryant was a liability, according to the Hall of Famer across the board. A liability.
Yes.
So that's all he had was, I got to throw it to 88, and 88 led the NFL in drop passes last year. And it was a disaster. From that point on, there's no Sean Lee on defense, there's no Zeke on offense, and they just fell all apart. And Dak admitted when the year was over, I was just trying too hard. I was trying everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're trying to do something. Yep. See, here's the thing. This is the way I look at stuff, ED.
Okay.
I don't worry about things I can't control, but the things I can control, I don't worry about because I can control them. Mm-hmm. Okay, Dak, you can't control who you got out there. If you Skip Bayless and Eric Dickerson and Jerry Jones say you are, go get it done. Because Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady, you told me Tom Brady wasn't a game manager that second Super Bowl. Yep. He didn't have no Randy Mosses. He didn't have no Julio Jones or no Antonio Bryant.
So that was his 3rd year of starting, right?
This is his 3rd year.
Wait. That was actually Tom Brady's 4th year in the National Football League. So this is Dak's 3rd year of starting and 3rd year in the league. So maybe, as you said earlier, maybe we should give him a little time.
Oh, I've been trying to tell you that for the longest, but you wanted to be Aaron Rodgers tomorrow. He's not.
All I know is that through his first 2 seasons, Dak Prescott's football team that he quarterbacked was 12-4 on the road. Think about that. They were 12-4 in his first 2 years.
Yeah.
That was 2nd in the National Football League in road record to New England. It was tied with Pittsburgh. So it was really, really good. And this year, inexplicably to me, they're 3-0 at home for the first time in the history of Jerry World, and they're 0-3 on the road.
Right.
So I can't figure it because I think they can't figure it. But they've played not to lose tentatively, indecisively on the road, starting with the quarterback. But he doesn't have weapons. He holds the ball too long, waiting for somebody to separate, and they're not going to separate. So what did I say? I kept pounding this table. Unleash him. Let him run. Let him run read options, roll him out, bootleg him, quarterback draws. Let him throw it on the run because he's deadly accurate on the run.
He is accurate.
Eddie, you rode the school bus coming up, didn't you?
Yeah.
The best thing the school bus driver could do was what? Get you to and from school safely. That's all you wanted him to do. That's all your mama wanted him to do, Eddie.
So you're comparing Dak Prescott to a school
Not a
bus
school
driver.
bus driver. Come on, Shannon. Come on.
They're like amateurs. They're volunteers.
They're volunteers, right?
But let me ask you a question.
Is Dak get paid?
Hold
I
on.
don't know. Maybe he doesn't get paid.
Let me ask you this. If they get you if they get your child to and from home safely, if Dak Prescott gets him to and from Atlanta safely, are you upset that he's a school bus driver, ED?
No, you're not upset.
Okay, then.
You're not upset.
What are we talking about? Ben Roethlisberger, first Super Bowl, school bus driver. Tom Brady, first Super Bowl win, school bus driver. But now all of a sudden, with Dak Prescott, we need him to be Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady right now.
But what did I just say? He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I said if I have one knock on Dak, and it's a small knock, is that in college, you know, this is open in college. In the pros, that's open.
Yes.
That's open. Even that's open. You have to get it in there. I mean, and I think he's accurate. I like his accuracy. Even when he's running, when I saw him first play here in L.A. During the preseason.
I remember it well.
Man,
you were on the sideline.
I'm like, my God, who is this guy? I mean, he throws like Warren Moon. That's exactly who I thought he throws the football like.
That's a good comparison.
So, I mean, I really like it.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I think it's a great comparison. I mean, that's my opinion, but I like the way he throws the football.
I'm about to put you out of here.
Okay, you gonna put me out? Don't put me out.
You were talking about Warren Moon. You know Warren Moon.
Are you trying to bump him out of the hall now?
Yeah, I mean, he keep comparing Dak Prescott to Warren. Skip. You've heard myself and guys like Troy Aikman, who studied the game for a living, they look at quarterback. He said Dak hasn't been accurate. He hadn't been consistent.
On the road, he has not been accurate.
But now you can't go 8-8.
Okay, but he's thrown 4 interceptions on the road. And guess what? All 4 hit the receiver in the hands. Hit them somewhere in a catchable place.
Well, let me ask you a question. They don't put interceptions on the receiver's resume. That goes on the quarterback's resume.
True.
But in a sense, it's not the quarterback's fault. It's like if I hit you in the chest and the ball pop up, hit you right in the chest. Is it my fault? But that's the question.
Yeah, it's
there you go.
But let me ask you a question. But when you check the ball down and I go 90 yards, you get credit for a 90 yards. That make it seem like you threw the ball 90 yards.
I agree with that too.
You see, you know what you want Skip Bayless to happen? You want Dak to have no responsibility, no accountability in the blame game, but you want to put it on the receiver.
No, I want you to give him an ounce of credit.
I give him credit.
Ounce.
He's a very quality. He got an A rating. I would recommend him to another school bus.
So do you realize? Wait a second. You were calling Dak Prescott a school bus driver when his offense just threw up 40 points on the #1 ranked defense in pro football, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
183 yards.
But you know what? It's not always in the stats. You know that. You know that's what. You know that's wasn't. It's not. But it's not always in the stats. You know that. You may throw for 600 yards passing, but he had 8 interceptions.
But here,
it's not about
in a league that's set up for the quarterback and the offenses to succeed. In 2018, Dak Prescott is playing football like in the 1990s. You know how we played it. You ran the football. You threw the ball on 3rd down. Dak's doing that right now, Skip.
Is that Dak's fault? Is Dak calling them plays?
I don't know. I'm just see there you go.
I'm just asking the question.
He's a playmaker, not a bus driver. That's what he makes all kinds of little big plays. He drove the ball on Jacksonville in the first half 4 times for 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and it was 24-0 at half. How hard is that to do? Sustained drives against that defense?
Well, clearly not that hard because that defense is not what it used to be. Skip, I grew up on a farm.
Now it's a fluke.
Did you grow up on a farm? Either?
No, I didn't grow up on a farm.
I grew up on a farm, Skip. And I was a little bitty boy, and I saw my uncles and my brother and everybody doing big, and I was little, like 5, 6 years old. And I was like, Papa, I want to do that. He said, boy, you're not ready yet.
Is he not
Skip.
ready?
Skip, look over there to your right, Skip Bayless.
No.
But you still call him a bus driver. Let me ask you. I'm going to give you some stats. I'm on a quarterback in the National Football League. All right, this is about his third year. 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Yeah.
Next year, 3,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. The next year, 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
Yeah.
Who was that quarterback? Who was that quarterback?
Sounds like Carson Wentz to me.
Who does that sound?
That ain't Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz with 33 and 7.
Who is that, you think? Just give me, them just average, okay stats. Just average. Who you think it is?
It ain't,
John Elway.
No. Tom Brady. Tom Brady. 3 Super Bowl. He won for 3. Dak is right. His stats are just as good, if not better, than the first 3 years.
And so that's what I'm saying. Tom Brady was a bus driver to begin with.
All right, guys, we're moving on from the bus driver
wait.
conversation.
Bus driver, you keep putting a T on it like bust driver, right?
No, you know what
you do. Bus
Stop
driver.
trying to parse my words.
I'm putting you on the hot seat. Who wins at Washington, Dallas or Washington?
Cowboys.
You're picking the Cowboys. What? Wait, you're picking the bus driver?
I ain't checking check down, Alex. I told you I'm done with him.
Bus driver, which shows you're exposed.
I'm gonna say the score be 24-20 Cowboys.
Oh.
The bus driver's going to score 24.
All right.
No, Zeke. Remember last year Zeke in the rain? He ran for $150 and Dak threw for 80? You remember that, Skip
It was
Bayless?
pouring rain. You couldn't even hold on to the football.
So now quarterbacks can't throw the ball.
Well, go look at Kirk Cousins.
Moving on from the bus driver conversation. At their peak, who's the better running back, Adrian Peterson or Ezekiel Elliott?
For real?
We'll discuss that next.
No, it's not no good question.
That's a great question.
No mercy.
There will be a lot of focus on the backfield in Sunday's huge Cowboys-Redskins matchup. Ezekiel Elliott is second in the league in rushing this year, and he has 29 career touchdowns and 31 career games. On the other side, Adrian Peterson's resume shows he'll be in the Hall of Fame one day. AP has over 12,000 career rushing yards and over 100 touchdowns. We're joined once again by Eric Dickerson. Eric, in their best, who would you rather have for one game, Zeke or AP?
Game for your life.
One game.
Game for my life.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to have to go with two great guys, 2 great backs. Let's start with that. Different kind of backs. Both of them are different. You know, one is a guy that catches the ball at the backfield. He's great at picking up the blitzes, runs inside well. He is a game changer. But then you have that one guy that he's special. He really is. He's a guy that can take it to the house. And that's what I'm big on, taking it to the house. Because at any moment, you know it's going to happen. You just matter when. And that guy for me would have to be Adrian Peterson.
Yeah!
Well, now we know where you're going.
You know, this guy is the only guy when he played that I was worried about him breaking my record. No one else. I wouldn't worry. Barry Sanders back in the day, but after that was it. You know, when he came in the league, I'm like, this guy has a chance to possibly go over 2,000 yards. He did go over 2,000 yards. Came 9 yards short of my record. Great, no problem.
You feel good now.
I feel good about that. But for my money, a guy who can, like I say, take it to the house. And that's what I mean, like, take it all the way. You know, if he breaks it, he's gone. That guy for me would be AP.
Are we for real? Are we even is this even a discussion? It's Adrian Peterson, and it's not even close. Skip Bayless, at the end of the day, there's no question of his generation. Adrian Peterson is the best running back of his generation. Are we sure when it's all said and done that Zeke's going to be the best running back in his generation? Is he going to be better than Le'Veon? Is he going to be better than Todd Gurley?
Absolutely.
Are we sure of that? Yes. I'm not so sure of that.
Yes.
Skip Bayless, do you realize that Adrian Peterson in his rookie season set an NFL single game record of 296 3 weeks before he went for 224? I'm looking for the game in which he's over 3 years in his career. I'm looking for the game that he's had 200. See, the difference is Zeke is a singles and doubles hitter. This guy right here hit his head on the goalpost from 80. We've seen him do it.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn just yet, Skip. I can't even believe you. Adrian Peterson.
I haven't even spoken yet.
When you say of all-time greats, when you talk about, you talk about the Dickersons and the Jim Browns and the Paytons. Adrian Peterson, would be thought favorably in that breath. He single-handedly drug a team to the playoffs. Christian Ponder was his quarterback. Went for 297. Think about in a passing league. The guy was the MVP in a passing league when the league is set up for the quarterbacks and the offense to succeed that way. Skip Bayless, this is not even close for me. It's all day, every day, and it ain't close.
Interesting. So, we're talking about one game with your life is on the table,
right? Yeah.
So I want the money man. I want somebody who comes up big on the biggest stages. I want Ezekiel Elliott because every time he's been on the biggest stage, not good things, but great things can have happened as opposed to what's happened to Adrian Peterson. And I happen to watch every University of Oklahoma football game because I'm a fan. Let me explain. By the way, their speed is about the same. They're both in the 4.4 category, but they weren't in this man's category because this man ran 4.31, right?
4.3 flat and
4.3.
Ran 240s.
4.3. So this guy's in another league from them, which is why I always say this is the greatest running back ever, right here on our show.
I know why you're smart. I see why you're smart, Skip.
No, I'm just telling you. We're only talking, but Eric's not a choice here. I have to make a choice between these two. So I'll also point out that Ezekiel Elliott in high school, he won 4 state track championships. So there's nothing slow about him because he won in the state of Missouri, the 100, the 200, the 110-meter hurdles, and the 300-meter hurdles. That's hard to do.
That's like being the surfing champ in Michigan. Adrian Peterson was in Texas.
Texas is different.
So Ezekiel Elliott in college at The Ohio State University went on the greatest running back run in the history of college football on the biggest stages because he started with Michigan. And that was kind of a quiet game, 121 on 17 carries. And then he went to the Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin. He went 220 on 20 carries. And then he played St. Nick's defense in the national semifinal. He went 230 on 20 carries. You want to talk about taking it to the house? And then in the national championship game against Oregon, he went for 246 on 36 carries. And I only got to see him in one playoff game, and all he did was go for 125 on 22 carries against Green Bay in that playoff game. So big stage, he rises and shines. What did I see from Adrian Peterson, the University of Oklahoma? Again, I'm born and raised a fan. I watched all of them.
1,936 yards as a freshman.
I saw 3 big games. I saw the national championship game against USC, and he went 82 on 25 carries. I saw a bowl game, the Holiday Bowl against Oregon, 84 on 23 carries. I saw the Boise State disaster game in the Fiesta Bowl, and he went 77 on 20 carries.
Who is this coach?
Quiet.
Who is this coach?
But you know what? You know what? We're talking about.
Okay, we're talking about pro football. So
let's
throw Adrian Peterson in the playoffs. We're talking about one game for your life. So Adrian Peterson's playoff record is 1-4, and he went over the 100 yards one time in 5 playoff games, and that was the Bounty Gate game in which they lost in overtime with Brett Favre at New Orleans, right? So only one, and so he's averaged 3.6 yards per carry in 5 playoff games. Is that good? I don't think that's good. You want your money on that? I don't. I want my money on this guy.
What's Zeke's record in the playoffs?
He's 0-1.
0-1. That's what I'm going to say. You beat me too.
Yeah,
like,
but he had one better game. His one game was better than any of the 5 Adrian played.
You said that New Orleans game was one of the toughest, most physical games you had ever seen played.
Yeah, but it was a quarterback game. As
let me tell you something. You said it best. When you talk about,
I think I said it best.
when you talk about guys, that run the football, that like I said, when you think of a running back. And if I'm on defense, first thing you think of, this guy could kill us. He could kill us. He could hurt us. He could hit us with the long ball. He can wear our defense down. I think Adrian Peterson would have been able to catch the ball out of the backfield, but you know what? They didn't ask that of him because he was a runner. Just like me, my first year, I had 51 receptions for 405 yards. But you know what? After that, I had no quarterback. So we strictly ran the football. You do what you do best. We run the football. This guy, to me, is the
all day.
He's the X factor. Like when I said 2,000 yards, Zeke is never going to get close to 2,000 yards. You hear me say that?
Yes,
no, he will not. No, he will not.
He will.
No, he will not.
So help me out here.
Purpose.
How did the Detroit at Dallas game end at Jerry World this year? What was the last big play of that game? The
pass to Zeke?
Oh, wait a second. Dak Prescott threw a perfect strike, a clutch deep ball to number 21, his running back, who lined up in the slot and ran just basically a go route. And he caught that ball because he is clutch. He comes up big in big moments. The other guy, not so much.
Did you see
he puts up a lot of yards against Tampa Bay or something.
No. Do you remember against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers? They needed to win the game. Whoever won the game was going to be the division champ. They needed to win the game to get into the playoffs. That's what it was, because Green Bay had already had it locked up.
See?
And what Adrian do?
It was another
what
Aaron Rodgers choke job. It was another choke job.
He put 200
Am I right? You're making my argument.
Adrian,
you can't trust Aaron Rodgers.
This is
I'm not
going to let you do that.
Well,
I just did it. Aaron Rodgers segment.
Yes, it is.
This is about AP.
You just brought it up.
But wait, let me ask you one question. Who's leading the league in rushing right now?
TG?
Who cares?
No. Come on, Skip. You've been jumping on that all year. But just say his name. Just say his name.
The Rambassador.
Just say his name.
You are the Rambassador. Todd Gurley.
There we go, Skip. There we go.
It's early, though.
Skip. It is early,
You know Adrian Peterson got an MVP in a quarterback league.
It was really like comeback player of the year. That's what that was.
2,000 yards.
Sympathy vote.
2,000 yards.
Should Peyton
2,000 yards.
Did Peyton get comeback player of the year?
I don't think so.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but Peyton should have been the MVP.
Peyton could have been.
Broke records.
He was 37 and 11.
So did AP.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that, Skip. With Christian
How
Ponder
far did that team go?
First of all, he's never had a he had a quarterback. One time, what? Brett Favre.
That
was it.
And it went to the NFC Championship.
That was it.
Christian Ponder, Skip. Christian Ponder, that was his starting quarterback.
You know he's got
Stop
a
it, Skip.
Zeke has a quarterback.
Zeke's got a really good quarterback.
All those guys that were drafted in 2011. Think about that draft, Skip. That might be the greatest draft ever.
Yep.
If you didn't reach for a quarterback.
Greatest draft ever. Come on now. 1983, dog. Come on, stop now. Hold up.
Y'all had number quarterback.
What are you talking about? You had that offensive line running. You can stop with that. The greatest draft ever. More Hall of Famers than anybody.
They might be up there with y'all.
Like I said, the greatest draft ever in 1983. I ain't trying to hear that.
They're going to have Cam. They're going to have Von Miller.
Cam?
They're going to have Julio.
Brother, we got me. We got Darryl Green.
Elway.
We got Elway. We got Marino. I mean, should I keep going? Richard Denver.
Y'all got 7 guys.
Should I keep going on?
I know how many of you guys
got 7.
Yeah. That might be the one.
All I got to say is, for you two, if you're betting your life on Adrian Peterson, I say R.I.P. to both of you.
No.
I do.
No, whoa.
R.I.P.
No. But those were the two choices you
R.I.P.
gave.
You said in the clutch, in their prime.
I'm living my life.
No.
I got 21.
No. Those are the two choices.
Wait. Imagine if AP would play for the Cowboys.
With that offensive line?
Huh? Say no more.
Oh, he gets 2,500.
Can't trust
He gets 2,500.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm joining you guys.
I'm taking Terrell Davis.
But it's time to grade LeBron's performance last night. We'll do that with Chris Broussard next.
No mercy.
LeBron's Laker career started with a loss last night in Portland. The Kings started with 2 huge dunks and finished with 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. But he also turned it over 6 times. We are joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, give LeBron a grade for last night.
Well, you mentioned the numbers. He obviously filled the stat sheet. But I'm judging him by MVP standards, which we all predicted. Best player in the world standards, which he is, but didn't look like last night. So I give him a C+. Mainly because of the turnovers in the second half. 5 of his 6 were in the second half. You mentioned the 3 earlier in the fourth quarter. He had 2 in the third quarter, and they were big. He only scored 8 points in the second half. So what I saw when I'm watching that game in the first half, I was like, I can't recall when the last time I saw an NBA team play at that pace.
Right. I agree.
And I was sitting there thinking, can LeBron keep this up for the game, let alone 82 games?
That is true.
And what I think happened to him is in the second half, now he didn't look fatigued. I didn't see him huffing and puffing, but I think either he dialed it back because he was like, I can't get it this place. Because throughout his career, he's never played on fast-paced teams. No. They're always in the middle of the road. Even Miami, we picture him and Wade with the fast breaks. They were in the middle of the road, in terms of pace and fast break points. Here's how fast their pace was. Last night, they had 34 fast break points. Last year, they were second in the league in fast break points, 17 a game. So they doubled that, and they were second in the league. Golden State led the league last year with 19 fast break points a game. Pace-wise, their pace last night was 113. New Orleans led the league last year in pace, 101. So they were, I mean,
right.
I think
that's not unrealistic.
First of all, like I said, LeBron's never played at that pace. Number two, he's 33,
right.
and he's in his 16th year. And I think physically, like I said, he either dialed it back or was fatigued. That's why he only scored 8 points. And I even think it got to him mentally, just because he was maybe tired, because obviously we've seen him make turnovers. But I don't see LeBron make a ton of ill-advised passes. And I thought some of those last night were just downright ill-advised. Mm-hmm. The Lonzo alley-oop attempt was telegraphed.
It was a bad idea.
Yeah. So I give him a C+. And they're going to have to figure this out, this pace thing. I don't know if they're going to have to be almost two separate teams, but I don't think LeBron or even they can play at that pace consistently.
No. I gave him a B, and I gave him a B for a lot of reasons you did. The turnovers. The third quarter, you guys were disappointed in the fourth quarter. I was disappointed in the third quarter because he only took one shot. It was a three-pointer, had the two turnovers, nothing. So he really didn't do anything, and I thought that was I thought that was an opportunity for him to get the team back into it. And they made a late run of the ball game, Skip. And I think for him, I think he didn't take that game over on purpose, Skip, because he doesn't want to start. He was like, look, guys, I'm going to need you. I know what I'm capable of. I want to find out who I can ride with and who I can count on down the stretch, because they're still trying to figure this out. The lineup that started last night, I'm not so sure that's the lineup that's going to be starting in game 10 or game 15 or game 20.
Yeah.
But he was LeBron. What other guy? There are only a handful of guys that wouldn't take 26, 12, and 6 on a nightly basis. But as you said, when you're talking about LeBron James, he can get that in his sleep. Mm-hmm. The question is, as you mentioned, Steve, pace. No, nobody's running. I don't care LeBron at 26. You're not keeping that pace up. No. Not for 82 games. No. That's not going to happen. That's the way they played in the 80s when they had 156, 153. Those type of games. But I gave him a B. I know he can play better. I know he will play better. He got a little reckless, a little careless with the basketball. Some of the plays he tried to make, those are the plays we see in year 3, year 4 with the Cavaliers when he'd been playing with those guys for an extended period of time, or he'd been playing with the D-Ways and those guys in Miami for an extended period of time. I don't think you try and make those passes when you've only been playing with a team for a month. Mm-hmm. So he'll taper those down, but this could have been a really special because he got off to flying high, looking good.
It was cooking. Yeah. For once, I am with my man Chris Broussard, C+ for LeBron James. And I want to amplify on your pace stat by pointing out that the most points in the paint scored by any team all of last season in the National Basketball Association was 68 for a whole game. That was by New Orleans against the last year's Lakers. Last night, the Lakers scored 70 in the paint. That would have led the whole league for the whole season last year. And it's because of your pace stat, because they were getting a lot of break dunks and layups or a lot of cutters. Yes. I like the look of it. I like the feel. And I predicted before the year, this is going to be the most fun team to watch because of the pace. But can you sustain? I don't know, because they didn't sustain it. And remember, they're playing against one of the slowest teams in the league on pace. Right. So it's hard to keep pushing when the other team walks it back up the floor. Right. They won't run with you. They won't feed off your momentum. You know, they won't feed into it.
Won't play into your trap.
Just wait. Yeah. Some teams will say, okay, we got this. We'll show you. They will. And you're going to see some Lakers scores that are going to go in the 140s.
Absolutely.
It'll be 148 to 1.
We might see a 150 game, something we don't.
Yeah, because if they get hot, they will have nights where they're hot from 3.
Okay, so in the fourth quarter, we don't need to see him again, but he had the ill-advised alley-oop, and then he throws 2 behind-the-back passes to nobody.
Right.
But I'm going to give him a break on this one because I pointed out to him earlier, in his debut game with the Miami Heat, they lost, and he had 8 turnovers. Well, they're all new teammates, and you got to get used to this guy because he's the best passer in basketball, and he's going to try things that are slightly ill-advised by conventional standards, but in his mind's eye are not ill-advised because he's seeing something you're not seeing yet. And he did it twice last night. The one didn't really matter with 20 seconds left. He just threw it down the baseline. I don't know what he thought, but there's nobody home on either of those behind-the-back passes.
Right.
Were they critical? The first two were critical, and to your point, 5 in the second half. But the point was, to me, the big reason for my C+ is with 8 minutes left in the game, Lonzo Ball did step into a 3, and he ripped it clean. So all of a sudden, you're down only 1. Well, I think the kids and the cast-offs put LeBron in the position like, okay, now it's your night. It's TNT. It's big stage. Take it over. Like that's where if he had enough gas left in the tank, he just says, okay, I got this. And maybe he starts playing point guard. Maybe he starts dribbling the ball up the floor and says, I got this, because he just takes over the basketball game.
He don't want to do that. He's going to have time. There's 82 games. He's like when Magic first got in the league in the first game of the season, Kareem hit a sky hook to walk off for the win. Right. And Magic is going bonkers. And Kareem like, bro, you got 81 more of these things. Sell it down. But Skip,
okay, but it would have been a nice statement if he had just taken over the game. It would have made everybody feel pretty good about the Lakers.
Especially when you got Houston coming in tomorrow, Saturday night.
And
it's going to be a tough game.
They got embarrassed.
Well, they go play.
Yeah,
you know what?
Come out with
that's the team that will play up and down with you. That's the team that'll go up and down. That's the team that'll go up and down.
Here's the thing, and your points in the paint, that was a great stat. Usually when teams play fast, they shoot fast.
Right.
You rarely see NBA teams consistently getting layups and dunks in transition. They'll be running and shooting threes.
Okay.
Like Houston shoots fast.
The new deal is push it to stop at the three-point line, right? To get wide open threes. Yeah. Well, they're not going to do that because they don't. That's not what they do.
Right.
And you can get away. And I've talked. Look, San Antonio didn't shoot a lot of threes last year. Had a good year for what they had.
No, but they're pull-up threes. That's what they specialize in.
The pull-up.
The break.
But they don't shoot a lot of.
Nope, they don't.
Memphis back in the day with Zach Randolph and Arkansas was successful without a lot of threes. You can be somewhat successful, but you have to hit a decent number. Like they hit 7, which, and
after they missed their first 15.
Like there is a certain threshold that you do have to hit. They're going to have to hit some number.
Okay, but in the fourth quarter last night, they went 4 for 11. That's okay. That'll work. If you can keep doing that. Yeah. Right?
Well, remember, Skip, what was that, the last game of the season? The Houston Rockets. They missed their first 27 three-pointers.
Right.
And then, you had to shot yourself. You had to given up so much ground, you could go hit your next 6. Doesn't matter. You had to give up so much ground, it's over.
They're not as bad as 0 for 15. Are they good? They're not a good three-point. But we knew that going in.
They'll be somewhere 20,
they'll be in the
23rd, 25th, maybe even lower.
LeBron I think he may be one of their best three-point shooters.
I told him, of the players who played last night, LeBron's the best three-point shooter. Luke can really shoot it. I know he's just a kid, but he shot 41% at Kansas. He shot the lights out in the summer league, and he's 6'8", and he's fearless. They're going to have to play him some minutes to sort of get some contagious threes going, but he won't help you on defense at all. So you're going to have to put up with that. You're going to have to trade it off.
Their defense last night was terrible too. Like,
do you think so?
I saw a stat where they gave up 27 uncontested baskets. There was 65 points from 27 uncontested. Yeah. So they're using their young legs to run, which is great.
Well, how about run back on defense?
Exactly. You got to use those young legs to be scrappy defensively.
That's what I'm talking about. See, now Chris is discouraged too. He didn't like what he
Only
saw.
game 1.
Discouraged.
And only room for improvement from this point.
I was watching. Obviously, they started well, and it was like, man, they're in Portland, 3rd seed in the West, playing them tough at home. I just was like, nobody can keep this pace up. Not in the NBA. It's almost like a full court press.
Well, I hope you're right.
You can't do that in the NBA.
I hope you're right, because hopefully nobody can keep that streak up of shooting bad from the three-point line. So hopefully they can't keep that pace up either.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Now, how much time will Lonzo get this season for the Lakers? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Now, a lot of attention was obviously on LeBron's debut last night, but there was also attention on the LA point guards. Rondo started and ended the game for the Lakers and finished with 13 points and a team-high 11 assists. Lonzo Ball came off the bench and scored 7 points in 19 minutes. He also is coming off knee surgery, and Luke Walton said Lonzo's minutes will be restricted. So, Shannon, how will this play out?
I don't believe it'll play out well for Lonzo. I understand he's on a minute restriction, but I don't know how you get Rondo out of the starting lineup, Skip, when he's playing as well as he is. And he and LeBron has a very, very good rapport together. LeBron has raved about Rondo's IQ. We all know what LeBron represents in the IQ department. Lonzo was on the floor last night, late in the first quarter when they gave up the 5-point lead that ended up being a 3-point deficit at the start of the second quarter. You know, Skip, for me, it's just some guys they don't play well coming off the bench. They might play the same amount of minutes that they would play as a starter, but it's hard. I believe it's going to be hard for Lonzo Ball to play in this role because he's always been a starter. He's always been the guy. And he's always, for the most part, he's always been the best player on the team or the second best player on the team. And he's way down there now, Skip. And I don't know if he can handle that. Like I said, I understand he's on a minute restriction. He has surgery. He's not where he needs to be as far as his legs-wise, maybe not even his wind-wise. But with Rondo playing as well as he played and running the offense like he did, I just don't know how you take him out of the offense when he's probably going to average double digits in the assist department. So I don't think it's going to go very well for Lonzo Ball.
I will agree with you that last night did not bode well going forward for Lonzo Ball. I must say, though, one quick positive, the shot looked 100% better. He's changed it dramatically and radically from the left side of his face to the right side of his face. And I do admire the fact and thought that it was a great positive sign going forward that he stepped into that three with 8 minutes left on the road at Portland, and he made it to cut the lead to 1. He made his 2 free throws without flinching. And again, he was a disaster last year at the free throw. What was it, 48%?
Yes.
It's horrendously bad for a point guard to shoot 48. You won't last in the league with that. So he stepped right up and made his 2 free throws. It's a start. It's something going forward. But again, I don't know why they acquired Rondo, but Rondo took ownership of that basketball team in the first quarter last night.
He did.
He just took it over. And he had a plus-minus of a +7 on a bad night for the Lakers, on a rough night, and Lonzo had a -15. What does that tell you? Good things were not happening when Lonzo was running the court, running the point. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? Rondo wasn't great in the fourth quarter, but I think he wasn't real happy. He played 7 minutes. Lonzo played 5 fourth-quarter minutes. That's a lot, man. And again, do you think Rondo loved that? I do not think he loved that. Are they going to have some issues going forward? You better believe it. Did Luke feel a little pressure from above, from his boss, Magic, to play Lonzo some in the fourth quarter? You better believe he did. Did it help? Well, again, Lonzo did hit the one. He stroked that 1-3, so that was a positive. But Rondo was running the show. He was quarterbacking. He was talking. He was directing. He was telling you to be here, to be there, and he's teaching, and he just took the team over. He's 10 years in this league.
Yes. The question is, Skip, who's going to have the better rapport down the stretch with LeBron?
There's just no doubt. I know it's going to be Rondo.
Well, I don't know.
Who's LeBron going to be more comfortable with? Well, obviously, it's Rondo. Has he not been there and done all of that?
Yes.
Was he not really good in the playoffs for the Pelicans last year?
A proven commodity.
Was he not the quarterback of a really great Boston team? He was the quarterback. Was it hard to coach? Yeah, he was hard to coach.
And Skip, remember that the 7-game series that they actually lost to Miami? Rondo had a 44-point game in that series.
He did. And I liked him. He was looking for a shot last night. He was not afraid.
No.
He stepped into some
He hit a 3 from the corner. It's just, for me, he's a veteran guy. He's a proven guy. And Lonzo is trying to find his way in the league. Okay, what's going to be my role? Rondo knows what his role is. He knows what it is. And Lonzo is trying to find his way. He's trying to gain some confidence. I don't care how well you've done leading up to this moment. Skip, when you come in as the number 2 pick and you're supposed to be this, and this, and everybody say, oh, he this, and he struggled last year. He showed some flashes, but he struggled. And now they bring a guy in that's a proven commodity. He's led the league in assists 4 times. He's been the starting point guard on a championship-winning team. So you know what you're up against. Do you know how? They ain't handed it to him because they could have easily said, okay, Lonzo, you're going to be our guy.
Rondo will not bite his tongue about this. Trust me, we're only 1 game in. Just wait 5 games in. If this keeps up where he's splitting time in the fourth quarter, they're 50-50, he will speak.
Well, I know he won't go quietly to the bench.
He will not go
whether it's
quietly.
fourth
Only
quarter or
time
first
will
quarter.
tell. Now, will Drew Brees get a big road win in Baltimore on Sunday? Skip and Shannon make their picks next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. One of Sunday's biggest games will be in Baltimore between the Saints and Ravens on Fox. Baltimore is coming off a dominating win in Tennessee where they had 11 sacks, and the Saints have won 4 straight. So, Shannon, who wins on Sunday?
I'm going to take the Ravens. This should be a great matchup. Number one scoring offense against the number one scoring defense.
Yep.
But the Ravens are loaded. I mean, number one pass defense, number one rush defense. But they don't take the ball away. They just stop you without taking the ball away. Just sacked Tennessee Marcus Mariota 11 times last week. But this will be the first true test, I believe, Skip, for Drew Brees in this offense, because we know they can put points on the board. But this is a very good test, and the Ravens are tough at home. I'm going to take the Ravens in a close ball game. I'm going to say they win 30-27.
So, which team did you pick to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl?
Saints.
Thank you. So did I. I'm sticking with my pick. I'm going to just root for my pick. That's what I'm going with New Orleans on the road.
Just because they lose a few games in the regular season don't mean they can't get to the Super Bowl.
They're 4-1. But you know what? I'm boiling it down to Drew Brees, Joe Flacco, Drew Brees. I think I'll go with Drew Brees in this game, even against that defense.
Skip, you know Joe Flacco is averaging 298 passing yards a game?
All I know is Baltimore lost to Baker Mayfield. So can it lose to Drew Brees? Sure it could. So I'm going to go with.
But they blanked the Tennessee Titans, who beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Skip, I can't tell you can't say because that team beat this team and that team lost to that team, so they're going to win.
Nice day. It's supposed to be in Baltimore, mid-50s, no precip. I think
maybe it's a little wind.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a nice day to throw the football, Drew.
Well, I mean, Joe Flacco can't throw the football.
Joe Flacco can throw it.
Joe Flacco.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.